And shalom, 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 everyone. We want to welcome everyone to King James Bible University Precept Mastery. And today we're going to be going through the rest of Romans as we're going to pick up where we did from last week on how we was actually tearing down the verses, which we're going to do some other tear downs. But the main thing is what we have to do this time is go through it, and we still need to find out what is Paul actually speaking about to where we're going to understand the mind of Paul, to where we're going to understand basically Romans as a whole. So what we're going to do, we're going to get ready, we're going to go into it, we're going to look at some things, but we want to make sure as we're going through it to where, you know, if you have you know, all your workbooks as you go through there, please make sure that you are still making your notes in there, because we don't want to go through there and some people I know like to go through their book and they don't want to mess with the book. But go through the book, and that side piece there, make sure you make the notes in there, because you can always go back and refer to that on what the class was about. So this is one of the main things that we want you to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at part of this, and we're going to make sure that from last week that everybody was, you know, up to speed, and make sure that anybody had any questions that was outside of that, to where if they had issues with, you know, some of the understandings and anything, please let me know. You know, you can let me know if you have some issues, and then we can go with it from there. Other than that, we're going to continue, we're going to move forward with it, but I want to make sure that anybody from the YouTube side, if you had some issues as far as going through the book from last week to where we're picking up today, if it was any questions based on the breakdowns, I'd like to know if you had any issues there. So if you don't have any issues, then what we're going to do, we're going to move forward, and we're going to start continuing right where we left off at from last week. And right now, I don't see any hands up, none from the back, and no questions coming from the YouTube side. So we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. So, okay, we have one saying they don't have no issues, which is good. So what we're going to do, we're going to get ready to crank up. And again, with actually the tool that I'm using, I do still apologize. I'm just about done with the book that goes with it. But the main thing is, I want to make sure I didn't want to put that to where you guys didn't understand the book, because when that book comes to you, I want to make sure when you go in there and you practice, you know exactly what to do. Because once you've been able to tear down a verse, and same thing, and that's why I like yesterday, the one gentleman that was from the UK, where, you know, sometimes we are spoken about, basically here in America and in other parts of the country, that actually speaks dominant the English language, because some of them do speak to us, and they have to break theirs down a little bit more because of the English language. And this is one of the main foundational reasons we all join together, even in this form, not so much to really where we need to understand what God's word is saying, but it's basically how the language is written actually in the Bible. That's the most important part. Why? Because even the way it's written, we're not quite understanding, even though many of us have went all through school, many of us went on to college, many people have, you know, different types of degrees. However, the problem still became to where we still don't understand when it comes to the Bible language, it throws us. Why? Because the way it was written. But it was written in the England language, which is English to us, and it still throws us off. So that's part of the problem. And we're gonna get through that. And the only way we can get through it is to actually tear these words down to where we can understand what it was saying. But then with this, it helps us also with the people with the preceptor, to where we can go through. Then we can pull precepts to understand what the Most High is saying. The same thing we did example yesterday with a gentleman that was on, went through it, and basically he asked a question. We can run him through the Bible. Technically, don't have to say anything, and let the Bible answer him. And that's what went on, and we didn't have to say anything. This is what you want to be able to do to your family members. You want to be able to friends. You want to be able to do to people that you come into contact to. Why? Because you want to have the mind of Christ. anywhere you go. That's the key, because when you're using his words and not your words, then if they sit there and shoo you away and they don't want to hear what you have to say, it's not you they shooing away. It's the word of God that they shooing away. So they deny God, not you. So that's what you remember. So let's go through, and I think we have no questions. So what we're going to do, we're going to kick this up. Let me a second. I don't need this one. I don't need that one there. This is the one I need. So let me pull these up. And we're going to, actually, I don't need that one either. This is the one I want. Let me put this to a full width mode, what I need. And now let me switch this over. Now, as I switch this over, we need to look at what was going on here. Now, last week we left off right here in Romans chapter 2, I'm sorry, verse 9. I'm looking at 9 and just went to chapter 9, I apologize. But it's chapter 2, verse 9. And we see right here where we have John 4:22, which it tells us, that how we have to worship God, but also to the Jews and Gentiles, letting you know what's going on, because it says this clearly right here. It tells you tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first, and also of the Gentiles. Why? Because it tells you right here where it gets into where Oxnard is the owner, and those Gentiles is telling you who we were. We were technically Hellenists. That's what we were. Many of our family members, many of our relatives were Hellenists, and that's what technically we are today. We can sit there and say whatever we want to say. Many of us today are Hellenists, meaning what? We're acting like something else that we are not. Because many people will tell you, I'm Negro. I'm a Negro. I'm black. I'm colored. I'm African American. I'm Afro American. And you're none of those. You're Israelite. You're Hebrew. That's what you are. And that's what we have to understand. So on paper, even when people write these things down and they ask you, what is your, they have these, want to ask where you from, and it says other, you either put other, just put you're Hebrew, or put Israelite. Doing the same thing. Or if they just have other and with no thing, just hit other. Some people will sit there and ask you, oh, why did you do that? Because I did that one time. We was at this one business seminar, and it had it, which was weird. They even had that on the thing. They asked, what is your nationality? And I seen, they had, I think they used Black / African American, and then they had all these other ones, Asian Pacifics and all this other stuff. And it had other, and I clicked other. Even other, on the other, they didn't have a place where I can put what it was. I just put other. So it really intrigued the presenter, because he's sitting there, he's seeing Black people, white people, Asian people, Latino people. He's seeing all these people, and he couldn't figure out, like, who put this other. And then he even called my name out. He said, yeah, it's Michael Johnson. That's yeah, I'm right there. And he wanted to know. He said it really intrigued me. He said, because personally, he said, you look like a Black guy or African American. I say, one, I don't go on African American. One. Two, I would accept Black more than anything. I say, so you say Black? He said, but it says Black up there. I say, yeah, but it's a slash and says African American. And I don't associate myself to that side of African American. So he said, okay, so I see why you didn't do it. So he proceeded to ask me what I was. And then when I told him what I was, he was shocked. He literally stopped the class. Me and him went in the back, and he wanted to talk to me, not in anger, but it really intrigued him. He said, man, I never seen somebody who took a stand like that, and I never heard that before. And if after the class, can me and you talk and go have coffee? And literally, that's what we did. And me and him sat there and talked. And he sat there. I'm talking about me and him talking for about 2 hours. And it really tripped him out. But the main thing is, he wasn't sitting there trying to go against, but he was trying to find out exactly who I was based on the statement I gave him. And he just like to know who people are and want to know, is my culture different than black people? Then he just started asking all those questions. But other than that, we have to understand the same thing that goes on right here, that they were Gentiles. Why? Because when you look at it as a whole, we were Gentiles carried off to dumb idols. Meaning what? We got to look at that. We're going to go to Corinthians, and then we're going to go right into what we have to do. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians. We're going to go to, why did that go down? We're going to go to 12 and 2. And it's clear. It says, ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. Led mean what? You following something. You can be following a program. You can be following a doctrine. You can be following something. So we were led to do what? We was led to be a people. Meaning what? We was led to be, as he said, one people. Same as you'll see even today, if you come up to today. How do you look at that? You go through it and you'll see it says, I pledge allegiance unto who? Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, and to the republic for which it stands. One nation under who? That's the problem. That's why you have to look at how everything plays out. Because when you go here and you see this, and this is First Maccabees, which we have to actually put that in there. Because it tells you, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom, which Israelites was there, that all should be one people under God. Who's God? It's going to be under his God. This is the problem. This is the entire problem here. So if we under his God and we're one people, so when Paul sit there and tells you this, and this is First Maccabees, excuse me, 141. So when Paul tells you this, right here in 1 Corinthians 12:2, he's telling you, we once were Gentiles. How? Because we was led to believe that we were one people under the same thing, under the same laws and everything that everybody is ruled under. This is what the problem was. So as Paul's saying this, we lose our way to what we're doing. How? Because we think we're Gentiles. Yeah, many people fight that today. So it goes on right here. What happened? Now, since we believe that we're Gentiles, guess what? We run into a bigger issue. Now we have this problem here, which I'll put that in there in 1 second. But we got to go right into here, and it's plain and simple stuff, real simple stuff here. You go to Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox know of his owner, and ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know, my people do not consider. Why? Because even some of us can go and tell your own people, hey, we're going to tell you what, this is who you are. This is what you're about. This is what's going on. And they're going to look at you and tell you, no, it's not true. Or someone will say, that's Old Testament. That's the Old Testament. We're in the New Testament. This is what you're gonna go through. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoer, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They have gone. They are gone away backward. We've gone another way. This is what happened. So Paul is telling us this. This is what Paul is telling us the entire time. This is why I say we have to understand so we have to understand what was the problem. Why? Because we were being called something that we're not. And then it got embedded in us so badly, this is how we felt it was. We didn't see it was any other way. But what else was this doing? These was restatements of the same thing. These was restatements of the same thing. This verse right here, this is a restatement of what was going on. So let's look at that, and then we're going to move down to verse 10. Because we have to understand what Paul is saying the entire time. And this is why I say, stop running and we trying to read, oh, I want to hurry up and just read this book and get to the next chapter. Stop doing that. Don't do that. That's the worst thing anyone can do. The worst thing you can ever do is sitting there where they done made a game out of it to where you can go to these churches and you can actually look online and you can see what they're talking about. Read the Bible in a year. Read the Bible in a year. It's crazy in not studying it. So what we do, the same thing. This tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first and also the Gentile, is a restatement of talking about in verse 8. But unto them, who is them? He's telling you. To the Jew first and also the Gentile. The Gentile what? Jews acting like Gentiles. Unto them. So who is the them? You already know who they are because he already clarified them, the Jew first. He's just clarifying it. He's clarifying what he's talking about. To the Jew first, then the Gentile. But unto them that are contentious and do not obey the truth, talking about the law, but obey unrighteousness. Who? The Jew first, then the Gentiles. It's clear as day. He's not sitting there saying nothing crazy. It's not being complex. It's not being anything done, but we have people will teach this in a whole different manner. This is the problem. This is the problem. And this is why we're sitting here. And if you look at it, we've been going through this for a couple of weeks. And what? Studying each word Paul dropping out of his mouth. Why? Because we need to know what he's talking about. We sitting there saying, no, we're gonna show this. We're gonna see what's happening. Now, verse 10, it gets worse. Why? He say, but glory, because everybody's gonna think this is real cool on a lot of stuff. But we're gonna see how this all breaks down. It says, but glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first. He just said this, and also the Gentile. So what we have to find out is a couple of things. Meaning what? He says, honor, glory, peace to every man that worketh good. So again, I'm going to ask you before I go deeper into it, I'm going to ask the people, which one should we be focused in on? So by hands, or if you're in the back, you can put your hand up, and I want to know which one should we focus in on, because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna show you what it is afterward, but I just want to see where we at to where because we're gonna tear it down. But the main thing is we got that verse right there is telling you we got all these words in here. So what should be focused? What should the focus be on what's going on? Because at the top, he's talking about every soul of man that doeth evil, to the Jew first, and then to the Gentile. Well, we got to see what's going on. So we have Sister Angela, she has her hand up, and we're going to see what she has to say, because I want to know which word should we focus on, or which word should we focus on.
Hi, Elder.
How you doing? How you doing this morning? Shalom, my sister.
Good. So I'm thinking that we should focus on where it says work is good, knowing exactly what that means, because I'm thinking, how can we work as good in order to know what the glory, honor, and peace is? I mean,
I'm gonna tell you something. Now you almost make me have to take my picture off and want to cry on how direct and correct too that we had to focus on.
I'm
telling you, boy. See, now you see what you're going to end up doing. Make me get a big head. So we got see, because when people learn in this manner, that's what they do. They make me get a real big head, because people starting to understand very good. But that's exactly what we had to focus on. Let me look at the one question somebody posted. I think an answer in there I want to see. And we have somebody else, they put glory. But the one we had to focus on is work is good. So we're gonna go into there, because that's the exact thing we literally have to focus on.
Okay.
Right here. This is the focus. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put this here. I'm gonna put that there, and we're gonna go from there. All right. So this is how we're gonna work this. So now, why do we have to focus on this right here? Because the same as Sister Angela said, she said for her to know what is glory, honor, and peace, she need to know what this work is good means. So that's the only way we can find out. That's what you key in on. This is, see, now what she actually did is, knowing it or not knowing it, she actually in her mind, this was actually tore down to where she focused in on the two main things she needed to see. And that's what happened. So we have to look at this, and we're going to go into it, and I'm going to show you how this actually works, and then we're going to come back and we're going to put some other verses with this. But this is what needs to be focused in on, because we're going to look at a couple of other things on show how this will actually work. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in here, we're going to go back, and work is good. So we have to find out, how do it worketh good? That's the focus. So let's look at something, because we got to see, it's telling you work is good. So it's telling you have to do something. So we have to do something. We're going to let Paul continue explaining himself. And so most times, what most people know, you don't explain yourself all the time in the same place. So we got to look at it. So we're going to Philippians chapter 2. We're going to look at verse 13. And we're going to see, he's going to say kind of the same thing. He said, for it is God which worketh in you, both to will and to do of his good pleasure. So it's telling you clearly right here, for it is God which worketh in you. So how do we break that? How do we break this down? Meaning what? Okay, so now we're going to tear this down, and we're going to look at it. So actually, let me do this. We're going to tear it down. Let's tear this down, and we're going to see how this works, and we're going to get a little bit deeper with this one, and then we're going to move right to the next one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in here. So we're going to tear this down real quick, and we're going to look at 2:13. And this is the good pleasure that we're going to do. Now I'm going to do this one here with no issues. So what we want to do is find out, for it is God that worketh good pleasure. So we need to see how this actually works. So the only way we can find out that this works, we have to tear it down. So let's look at this. So we're going to go right there. We're going to go right here. We're going to grab this. We're going to put this right here. So for it is God that worketh in you. It's God. What? Worketh in you. because the focus still is this. In this passage right here, that's the focus. It's good. And who is belong to? His good. That's the focus. So we know if this is the focus, we know it's God that's doing it. That's the key. So we need to know right here what's going on. So if we want to do this good, we got to know what's happening. So the only reason we're doing good, the only reason good coming out of it, he's the reason we're doing it. So if he's doing it, how? So God is a spirit. He's a spirit. So if he's a spirit, both to will, and you see, and it's kind of tricky how they put that, is both to will, we have to put that there, by itself. Why? Because it's something that's different. It's something that's different that's there. And actually, I can put God action, and that's really what it is, but I could have put it another way. But it can put God action. Some can say divine action, some might say divine action, but it's just God action. Because he's doing it. When you sit there and you give yourself to God, why? Because it'll tell you that right here. We go right to it. It's plain and simple. What? Hebrews 10:5. Why? Because you go there and you see what it says. He says he want a body. What else do we want? We can put and then we can also put first on. Let me just put that over there. I can add another verse over to it later, but I can put that over here. Because why? I'm gonna go to 1 Corinthians 3:16. Why? Because we are the temple of God, but we have to be willing to let him do this. Both to the will. These going to tie you right to it. Why? Because we're going to offer our own body as a living sacrifice, which you'll also see in Romans. You can sit there and see in Romans 12:1. You'll see that automatically. It's automatic. That's the will of God. That's the will of God. That's automatic. There's no ways around it. It's everything because it's to the will of God. So what about this other part? And it's another connection. So we need that with the period. And we do that one there. We do this here. Why? Because it's the same thing as it's been talking about the entire time. That's his good pleasure. That's his good pleasure. So when it's his good pleasure and he's in you, what happens? Simplest thing. You want to see how it works? You want to see how it works? Actually, let me see. And we're gonna see how it works. Well, we're gonna see a witness. Let's look at a witness of this. Let's look at a witness of this right here. Simplest way to do it. Let's look at a witness. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 4. Let's look at a witness to this. So the only way we can see the witness, we got to go look at it. So we're gonna go and look at a witness to this same statement on what he said. So when God is working in you, you see different things. So Genesis 4:4, it says, and unto Abel, he also brought the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel's offering. So if he was offering something, he had to be offering something that what God said, because God had respect unto this. See, this is the problem. And most people will tell you that Abel brought animals. He didn't bring animals. It keep telling you this because the Most High had respect unto this. So what did he bring? We already had it in there. So those firstlings, he was talking about something that was very important. Meaning what? We're gonna look at it. 10 verse 5. Because why you can see now watch real close. We're gonna look at the language on what Paul and them is saying. He says, for it is not possible for the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sin. So Abel knows this. So if he knows this, he know not to bring bulls and goats and stuff to God. He knows it. So if he knows this, he did what? Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he says, sacrifice or offering not what is not. So when Abel did, Abel brought a body that thou hast prepared him. So what did Abel bring? It tells you clear as day. So if that happened, what did Abel bring? Right here, it tells you what Abel did. He brought his firstling of his flock, bringing what? Bringing what? Just to make sure we have understanding. Anybody in the back can answer it. Just raise it. Anybody? So what did Abel bring? What did he present to God? And we had Brother Gordon, we had Elder Smith had their hands up. I disabled both you guys.
He brought his children.
Exactly the point. You in agreement? You in agreement on that one, Elder Smith?
Yeah, he brought his children and his body.
That's all he did. That's all this was saying. But and we have Brother T Mac. Actually, we got a lot of people on the other side. They actually putting it. That's all he did. Yeah, exactly the point. Exactly the point. The first thing of his flock. This is all he did. Nothing more. But people will sit there, well, he brought this, he brought that, and he didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. And you don't see that in there because the Most High is not going to have respect unto that. He's not going to respect that. And that's what he did. So the same thing is, and that's why he says all the sheep and everything belongs to him. But if he said that if you're going to bring me anything, it's just like you give somebody $100 and you tell them, and you giving it to them, you tell them, now you bring me back, my bag better be a 2-pound bag of potato chips. Mine better be a 2-pound bag of potato chips. Now you can get whatever you want to get, but all the potato, when you go in that building, all the potato chips in there belong to me. But I'm letting you have the building with the potato chips in there. All that you control. However, if you're going to bring me some potato chips on Monday, bring me a 2-pound bag, the best potato chips, whatever you call the name is, you bring those to me. But we will sit there and we won't even do it. The first thing we want to do is sit there and say, Ron, tell you what, he wants a 2-pound bag. Well, this one getting ready to expire tomorrow because I can make money on this one. So I'm not going to give you no. These have been expired in 2 days. So let me bring him this bag because it is expired in 2 days. He's going to eat them today anyway, but it'd be expired. Did you bring him your best? No, you didn't. You brought him something that you getting ready to get rid of. Because if you couldn't do it, you're going to get rid of it anyway. This is the problem. This is what Paul's talking about. So when we go into here, this is what's going on. So this is why we tear this down to where we can know what's going on. Yeah. Let me see. I'm not sure what he's saying. He's saying, yeah, you tell us he knew all about. I'm not sure how you're saying that here. What would that? So you trying to say he knew about far as how I'm trying to see it. He knew about what? All about what you're going to offer or what? I'm trying to understand what you're saying, Antonio. So what is he saying about what? And I'm trying to see what he trying to clarify there. Yeah, he's not putting it. Yeah, you're not clarifying. Well, you're not clarifying what you're saying. You're just saying he knew all about. So I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, the offer. Yeah, okay, the offer. He know what you're going to offer, but what he's saying, still all together, he's testing you to see what you're going to bring him. That's what he's looking for. Because if you're going to bring your best, he's telling you already, it belongs to him. So if it belongs to him, and he's saying, okay, if you offer me something, in which I want, I'm seeking your body, but if you're going to bring me some of this, you're going to bring me the best. That belongs to me anyway. That's all the Most High is saying. And we don't do that. This is what Paul has. This is what Paul is sitting there showing the focus on worketh the good. So if it worketh good, is what? This is where you sitting there letting your body do what it need to be done. And you sitting there and you're not doing anything that's going through that is being outside, that is not having these issues. What else? This has another part to it. Why? Because we got to go right back, and it's still telling us about what else. We're going to see this over here. Now just go over here. It'll be simple. Why? Because it tell you, it say, to them who by patience, continuance, in well-doing seek for glory, honor, and immortality, eternal life. You see that? Yeah, I think I like it better on the other side. Yeah, let me do it on the verse itself. It's a lot simpler. Let me do it over here, because I can scroll over. I thought I can do it over there to where you can even see the precepts there, to where people can actually help make up some of their stuff, but it's a little bit better here. So, so right here it tells you, to them by whom patience, continence, and well-doing seek of glory and honor and immortality, eternal life. Meaning the same thing. You see, he's repeating the same thing, but glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good. But what? So every man that worketh good, meaning what? Can seek that. This is what the outcome is. Eternal life. He's telling you, this is plain, straightforward, simple. So how do this work? So we're looking for, as Sister Angela was sitting there, she was sitting there, so how do it works out? How do this work? That's the main thing, because this is out of everything that all of us are together today on. I don't care how we look at it, how we flip it out, how you script it, anything. All of us are together trying to seek that eternal life. That's what we're seeking for. That's the main part what we're looking for. So we have to understand how that actually works. Meaning what? To understand how this works, we're going to see one part and another one. We're going to go over here to 1 Peter, and we're going to let Peter explain some of this to give us some understanding. I don't know why it highlights like that. So we're going to look at this. And it says that the trial, this is a problem. Why? Because it tells you right there that the trial mean what? You're being tested. You're being tested of your faith. This is where you don't want to get caught up. Meaning what? Because when you put on a trial, your faith is going to be tested. When you put on a trial, that is going to be tested. Meaning what? Being much more precious than gold that perisheth. He's telling you gold gonna perish, though it be tried in fire, that be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai the Messiah. This is the seriousness on what's going on. Meaning what? You going through tests that you need to make sure you pass. You can't be going through half doing them. You can't be going through not passing your tests. You have to be passing your tests. You're being graded every time. Why? Because our faith is on trial, not the body. The body profited nothing. The body's not on trial. It's your faith that is on trial. So if we sit there and we try to do something that is oddly, the faith is on trial, and that's where we're going to mess up. So how do we know that we're going to have the problem? Meaning everything that's in here, that your faith is on trial. So how do we get all this together? So we know all this that's work is good. All this that's working good. We have Philippians. We're going to use 2:13. And we sit there, we use 1 Peter. Uh-oh. 1 Peter. And we use 1:7. We have some more that we need to do. So, and then we have right here, so, but glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good. So how do this work out? That's what I said. She had the perfect answer. She had the perfect answer. How do we know that answer was so good? Because this, dang it, why am I kept that cat? Faith. That's the issue. And actually I can move this down because that's here. Sometimes I just put stuff in different places. I do those to where I can keep control of what I need to be concentrated on. So we know faith is that. Faith, this is what working good is. Faith. And if you can draw you a line from working good, that's faith. Because why? Your faith is on trial. Your flesh is not on trial. Don't never think your flesh is on trial. Flesh is never on trial. Your faith is. Now, what people do, they let their faith end up being controlled by their flesh. And when flesh control your faith is going to dwindle. Why? Because it's going to end up doing folly. Meaning what? You're going to start doing things that is fleshly. That's how you're going to get caught up. This is what Paul is talking about. See, because the glory and honor, peace to every man that worketh good. How do we know this? We got some more we got to add in there. How do we know? We're going to go right to it. We're going to look at it. Because our faith is on trial. So if our faith is on trial, we're going to go to Yahushua brother himself, and we're going to see what's going on. We're going to see what's going on. Now, we can read a whole lot of this that goes through this. And we can see where this goes through. But I'm telling you, this is why it's so important to where you see how we can go all over the Bible and pull together what the understanding is to understand pieces on what Paul's saying. So later, you don't have to sit there and wonder, oh, well, I wonder about that. You don't have to do that anymore. You know what it's saying. So let's look at how Paul is explaining himself. So we know faith is on trial, not your flesh. Anytime somebody say, well, my flesh is on, no, your flesh is never on trial, never. Flesh and blood, impossible to inherit the kingdom of God. So why he gonna put that on trial? See, all these things you think about, if they can't go into heaven, why is the Most High gonna put that on trial? If somebody can answer that, please do. If you can sit there and say no, please do. People sit there, some people will tell you that Yahweh, flesh and blood, bone, body, is in heaven. So the Most High, if that's true, then the Most High God lied. It's that simple. Because he says, flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. If we know that, flesh cannot profit nothing for God in the kingdom. Your spirit can, so it's based on the faith, and we need to have it. And if the faith fails, that lose profit also. So we need to see how faith works. That's why we have to figure out how things function. When we see how things function, we can understand how it works. So let's look at it. It says in James chapter 2, we start at verse 1. It says, my brother, have not the faith of our Lord, Yahweh the Messiah, the Lord of glory. Now, that's the key. Because we're looking for glory, honor. He's telling you right here. Look at it. We're going to look at it because that's the key. That's telling us what we're looking for. We're looking for glory, honor, and peace. What is he saying right here? The Lord of glory. The Lord of glory. So we have to understand that. Now we have with respect to persons, for if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring, a goodly apparel, and there come in a poor man in vile raiment. Guess what? What we do? What do we do automatically? So as we going down through this, what do we do? Most of it, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, you don't have to sit there and say, I'm not going to ask somebody to raise their hand, but just think within yourself, what do we do? When you see somebody come in very nice and mannerable, you have somebody come in very dirty. I can tell you more than, this been more than probably almost 30 something years ago. And that's weird to say, it's really weird to say. Yeah, but 30 something years ago, I went into a church in LA, had on a nice suit, and I go in. Besides me, and I was looking for a seat closer to the back, but besides putting me, or just, where the usher could have brought me to the back, they sat there and there was an usher in the front signaling the other usher to pull me and take me to the front. And they usher me, and I'm sitting right on the front row. Sitting on the front row, and this preacher, and it's right there on Western, and it was, what was it? I forgot the name. But it was that pastor named at that time, his name was Stafford. I think his son is over it now. I don't know who's over, but it was a Stafford guy. So what happened, he sat there, and it was a morning service at 8 o'clock. Because I'm not gonna sit here and tell you a bold-faced lie, because back then I would go to the earliest service. I like the 8 o'clock service because it let out by 9, and I can be getting ready to watch pre-game show for football. That was me. I'm gonna watch this pre-game show. I got to see, because I can watch football now. But what happened as we sitting there, he's going around, he sent the offering pans out, and they counted it up. I don't know how they did that quick. They counted it up probably within 5 minutes. He came back, and he's looking at the suit I had on. Now, mind you, I had on an Armani suit. So he's sitting there figuring, I'm going to put this money in that pan. It wasn't going to happen. But he's sitting there, and he stood in front of me, and he's looking in front of everybody, and he glanced down at me because he didn't know me, I didn't know him. He said, I need $10,000 from the morning service. He said, but don't worry, the 11 o'clock service, I'm going to be looking for more than that. And he said, I'm going to send them pans back out, and I need $10,000. And he wasn't asking. He's pretty much telling you. So as he stood there, and they passed them pans, and they passed them down the seating, and I got the pan, and I'm looking at, I never took my eyes off him. I got the pen, and I just grabbed it, just Crossed it on over. I wasn't putting a dime in there, letting him know you are not going to tell me what I'm going to be doing because you want it. Why? Because he wants you to have respect of persons based on what he's saying. And then they judge me based on the goodly apparel. And I was just a worst type at that time, or worst Christian you can run into, because if you sitting there talking that trash, I didn't do nothing for you. That was me. But the one with the vile raiment that came in right behind me probably would have been the one who gave him whatever he wanted. But he had respect to persons. Let's move forward. Then it says, and ye have respect to him with the whether the gay clothing, which is the one in the good clothing, because that's what gay actually means. And then it says, and say to him, sit thou in a good place. That's what they did. They put me in a real good seat. Then it says, and say to the poor man, stand thou there. And that's what they did. They set him all the way in the back. And all he had on was a shirt and pants. He was dressed nice, but all he had on was a shirt and pants. I had on an Armani suit. Evidently, they knew what it was. They wished me to the front. I didn't get it. So, but that's what happened. So then it went on. And then it says, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool. Are ye not then partial in yourselves and are become judges of evil thoughts? So I want you to think, was that an evil thought that they did? If anyone say that it wasn't evil, then you're wrong, because that was evil. Because you didn't judge me based on what was in my heart, what was anything. You judged me based on what you seen on the outward appearance. Like these beautiful tombs. Inside was dead man bones. Meaning what? I wasn't giving him a dime. That's what they missing. Let's move forward. But I'm just giving you the thoughts on what's going on. So he says, hearken, my beloved brethren, have not God chosen the poor of knowledge of God? Because he could have had more knowledge of God than the law. We don't know. I never met the man. And it said, of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which have promised to them, to them that love him. This is plain, but he goes on more. But ye have despised the poor, set him in the back, put me in the front, and I wasn't giving up anything. I tell you, I gave him $20, and I was kind of reluctant to do that. I was reluctant. And it says, do not the rich man oppress you and draw you before the judgment seat? Yeah, because when they got money, then all of a sudden they got everything they say, they feel they can tell you whatever they want to tell you, and you're going to listen to them just because they got money. That don't say they got intelligence, they just got money. They don't say that they didn't gain all this money for all these reasons, and now all of a sudden they're wealthy, but now they got intelligence. That don't add up to anything. Nothing. But watch it, but it goes on more. It say, do not they blaspheme that worthy name by which ye are called? They blaspheme it every day. You call yourself Israel to somebody, they'll look at you like you crazy. But let's move forward. It says, if ye fulfill the royal law according to the scriptures, meaning the laws of God. Go to Psalms 119, 142. You go to Deuteronomy 6:20, 6:24 through 25. Tells you exactly what you're going to fulfill the royal law. The royal law is the king's law. The king's law is God's law. Tell you plain as day, but watch this. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. But if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin. And that's what we do. We have respect to persons, we commit sin. We have persons that goes on to where you even have people that will do things for other people because they'll sit there and protect whatever it is, even though it can be wrong. It doesn't matter. We're going to sit there. I'm going to protect this no matter what. I'm going to protect this. We'll sit there and I'm going to lie for this. So you can sit there, you can see the same thing. You can see, okay, well, I'm tell you what, my brother works or he plays for this same team, but they don't know me and him as brothers. Look at it even that way. Now, for them to win, I'm the referee on the field. But now what happens is this. A call happens and it happened in front of me. I can sit there and call it a fair call or make it a lie call. What happens? I'm sitting there doing this based on something else. Why? Because I didn't do the royal law. I respect the person. I don't want my brother mad at me. That happens in business. That happens with friendships. That happens with relatives. That happens with family members. This is what happens. We have respect of persons based on a position a person is in. But it goes on better. It says, for whomsoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. Why? Why? Because you don't really have the faith. You've been lying. You're lying to yourself. So he's saying, if you offend one law, why? Because you're going to do this law of liberty. You're going to pick and you're going to choose what law you want to follow. Well, I'm not going to eat pork, but I'm going to do this. Want to tell you what? I don't eat any unclean thing, but I'm a fornicate all over the place. I'm going to sleep with all these different people. This is what you're doing. So if you offend that one law, you done broke them all. Because then it's broken. And it tells you the scripture cannot be broken. So if the scriptures cannot be broken and you break one of them, you broke them all. Because now the chain is broken. That's what he's talking about. But let's move forward. And he said, for he said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. So you got to know all this is together. Now, if he commit no adultery, so he's not committing adultery, yet if thou kill, but he's going to kill somebody. That's cool. Thou art become a transgressor of the law. You done broke the entire law. We ain't got to go pick out this one law. You done broke all the laws. Why? Because you're supposed to what? At the beginning of the thing, what did he say? At the beginning of the thing, what did he say? Love thy neighbor as thyself. So he got you. You can't get around it. But he goes on better. He says, so speak ye and do so that ye shall be judged by the liberty of the law. Why? Picking and choosing what you gonna follow and what you not gonna follow. So he gonna sit there and he gonna crack open a bunch of books and gonna find your name in them. This is gonna be a problem. So when he find your name in them, in those books, the problem you're going to have is your name gonna pop up in the book of lasciviousness, your name gonna pop up in adultery, your name gonna pop up in covetousness, your name gonna pop up in all these different books. It ain't gonna be no reason for him to go open up that one book. He gonna be popping open all these other books. This is the problem. That's why all them books, it's in them books was open. Each one of them books, he can't put lasciviousness and adultery in the same book. So what he did, he separated all the books. You can go right there and go like Galatians, get the book name. They'll tell you every one of them. Every one of the books you want to see, when he said he opened up the books, you go right there and you'll get all the listing of all the books. And if your name shows up in one of those books, you have a problem, because you break that one, you done broke them all. It's that simple. It's that plain, that simple, and we can go through it. But right now, that focus is on this faith, and that's so that's not part, but I'm just letting you know that's part of what that problem is. So let's look down at verse 13, because you're gonna use the law of liberty. You got people who do that even today. It says, for he shall have judgment without mercy. So God, he gonna have judgment without any type of love from God. He has showed no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. So now it goes on. What doeth it profit, my brethren, though man say he hath faith? Again is your key. He go right back. What do you want right back to? Right here, that's working good. Because you just can't walk around and do nothing and have no adultery. Think about it. Saying, well, we'll tell you what, if I'm just walking around, it's impossible for me to commit adultery. If I'm sitting here, it's impossible for me to commit adultery. If I'm just sitting here, I'm doing nothing. I'm just still, just like a tree, just ain't moving. But if I sit there and I'm trying to communicate with somebody else, or communicating spiritually, or I'm real interested in these other gods, I'm committing adultery against God. If I'm sitting there and I'm trying to conversate or trying to get with women and sitting there having sexual relations with women, I'm committing adultery against my wife and God. Zero-sum game. So when he crack open the book of adultery, my name is going to be right there. This is what James is trying to get us to see. Because we're supposed to have faith. He says in the law, we ain't committing adultery. So that's a done deal. So all through the book, you shouldn't be found in the book of adultery. Shouldn't be found there. But watch this. It says, without what do it profit, my brother, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Again, you a tree? That's what you're saying you're doing. And you have no works. But watch this. Can faith save him? Can faith save you? He's clearly asking the question. Faith alone cannot save you. Same as people sitting there, faith alone, and telling people, and telling them, we're gonna tell you what, all you have to believe, Jesus Christ, and that's what the Christian gonna run it. Jesus Christ believed that he lived, he died on the cross, God resurrected him. You believe that, and just believe he is your savior, you're saved. So all you got to do is live the way you want to live, and you're good. Just believe that. No works behind it. No works behind it. But let's go on this. Let's look at a little bit more of this. So if a brother or sister be naked, this is sin. So if a brother or sister be in sin and destitute of daily food and not getting the truth, and one say to them, depart in peace and be warm and filled, their blood, their life is on your hands. You gonna sit there and you see your brother, you see your sister is destitute of the daily food for their spirit to live. Their life is on you, and you didn't tell them nothing. Faith. Don't look at the outcome. Oh, they're gonna separate. They're gonna separate yourself from that. Don't get tied up into that. You tell them what they need to know. Chips gonna fall where they may. You ain't telling them nothing bad. Why? You can show it to them in the book. If you got a problem with the book, then you tell them to go talk to God. But he said this by itself. He said, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, and woman be filled, notwithstanding to give them not those things which are needful to the body. What do it profit? So again, you flip it carnal. If you give somebody sitting there food, then you're going to sit there and say, what the body going to profit, and you done fed them some food. It reminds you even back to that movie, White Man Can't Jump, where she was laying in the bed with this guy, and she said something, it was real crazy. She said, I'm thirsty. That's what she said. She said, I'm thirsty. He got up, went and got the woman some water, came back, and she said, and she went off on it. No, when I say that, I want you to listen. I want you to sympathize, and want you. And he's sitting there like, what in the world is this woman talking about? She was trying to tell him something spiritual, and he looking at it carnally. Technically, all what was happening. But if you look at White Man Can't Jump, you'll see what I'm talking about. But then you see right here, then it says, and say to one, depart in peace, be warm and be filled, notwithstanding, and give those things which is needful of the body, what do it profit? So it tells you, even so faith, if it have not works, is dead being alone. It's clear. It's clear. This is so clear, and it goes on and explains more. It says, yea, a man say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without works. I will show thee my faith by my works. He's telling you clearly. That's working good. That's all we're sitting there over what Paul's talking about. That's the worketh the good. That's all he's saying all the time. So what happened? Believeth. So now he's going to test your faith. Believeth that thou is one God. And see, in this semicolon, it changes in language. But however, it's sitting there, you believe in one God. You have many people going to say, well, yeah, I believe it, but they still going to believe it's three. I don't care what you do. And same as we said, we had that guy on a while back. He will sit there and still tell you, well, it's a Godhead and it's got this and that. Not understanding, it's one God, period. No one else, any other thing is God. It's one God. They say, what about what came down and rested on Yahushua? Is one God sent his spirit and put it on this man that belongs to God. Well, what about Yahushua? Wasn't he God? No, he was a man. So when they sit there and say, it's three, thou believest there's one God? No, it's three. Then you don't know. Why? Because you got a problem. If you believe it's one God, thou do it well. You believe it's more God, then you got a problem. Meaning what? Now, most people tell you, and I hear this a lot, they'll say that, the devil knows the Bible this way and they'll know it that way. They love to say that. However, as I told some people before, show me one verse where it says the devil knows the Bible just like anything else. Show me one verse, and they can't do it. It tells you, but I can't show you this. The devil also believe and tremble. Why? Because he know what the Most High said, he meant it, and he gonna do it. The spirit of the devil knows that. He know he gonna get it. He got his coming. He knows it. So what he do? He try to get as many others as possible to go with him. This is what people do. They sitting there saying, okay, hey, I got this problem. I'm going through this. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to take some people with me. What they do, they'll lie, cheat, steal, whatever they can to pull you with them. And this is what they do. That's Satan. It says, but will thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. Plain as day. And was not Abraham, our father, justified by works? 100%. Because he had faith in God. And it was all behind works that Abraham did. It says, when he had offered Isaac, his son, upon the altar, Moses said, hey, bring him to me. I want you to offer him unto me. Hey, get up, son. We got to roll. We get plain as day. See how faith wrought his works, and by works was his faith made perfect. Why? Because he believed what God said. He didn't question it. He didn't ask God, why do you want me to offer my son? Can you give me another son to offer? Or can I substitute my son? He didn't say anything. He said, offer that son up. And he didn't say anything. He just got ready and offered him up. And the scriptures was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed God. What? By faith. By faith. He told Abraham he was going to have his children going to be like the stars that you see in heaven. Abraham will have one son. He didn't sit there and say, God, if you kill this one, or if I'm going to kill this one and sacrifice it to you, well, I'm going to get my other son from to where I'm going to have a family for stars of the earth. He didn't ask him. See, this is where we sit there and we want to sit there and question God. Can't be doing. He said, offer him up, offer him up. But he goes on more. He said, you see how by, well, no, I went down too far. It says, in the scripture of it said, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God. Why? Because of faith. He believed God. You see how faith, you see then how by works a man is justified and not by faith only. This is all Paul been talking about the entire time. This worketh good. This worketh good. The word, you can gain everything that you need that's there when you sitting there and you holding on to the Most High. So when you want respect from the Most High, when you're looking for respect from the Most High, you have to be doing something. And people sit there and say, well God won't have respect of persons. No, if you're doing what God told you to do, and you do it the same as we just seen in Genesis 4:4. Actually, I forgot to put that one there. Genesis 4, verse 4, we would have known that. We would have known what went on. But then we sit there and say, as a whole, do God respect him as a whole? Yeah, yes, he does. Most people don't sit there, well, God don't respect him as a whole. Yes, he do. I'm going to show you where he had the same thing with Israel. The same thing with Israel. So we have to watch, in 25. Well, let's see. And God, well, actually, we can go up a little bit. Said it came to pass to time, process of time, and the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of bondage, and they cried, and their cry upon unto God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered the covenant with Abraham. You just seen what he said. Abraham was a friend. Isaac and Jacob he was married to. And God looked upon the children of Israel and had respect unto them. Why did they have respect? See, this is the key. He had respect unto them. So evidently, these children, and he's talking about the children of Israel, had to be doing something. Had to be doing something. These are things we need to find out and make sure we understand what was happening all the time. But he had respect unto Israel for something. And what was that respect unto? See, because most people sit there and say, well, all Israel was doing the commandments of God. All Israel was doing the commandments of God. Is that true? Is that true? And this is why I'm saying, you will be pushed today. Because we got to find out, and we got a verse we got to break down today too. But the main thing is, when he's sitting there telling you he had respect unto Israel, was all Israel doing what God said? I want some hands in the back or on YouTube side. And I want to know what was going on. Because if not, we got some problems. We got Sister Cole. Boy, she did that immediately. Sister Cole, how you doing, my sister?
Good afternoon, Elder. I'm doing just fine.
Good. Yeah, can you help us, give us some understanding? If not, I got Elder Smith right behind me.
Well, I'm gonna try. And my first thing that jumped to my mind was no.
All right. So can you give me a verse to help to back yourself up?
Yeah, I can. Give me a minute.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to go ahead to Elder Smith?
Please go ahead to Elder Smith. Let me think about this a little bit more, but I know
Okay.
I'm a back.
Okay. I'm gonna leave you unmiked, okay?
Okay.
All right, Elder Smith.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom.
No, all Israel wasn't, and I'm looking for the scripture right now also.
So you looking for it too? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I need somebody. I got my elder helping. I got Sister Cole helping. We need to know and seeing they saying
I'm back. It is First Corinthians 7:45.
okay, we're gonna go there. 1 second. I'm gonna go there because I got brother Micah. He's also, so I'm gonna go there. You said 1 Corinthians 7:45.
I think that's the one I want.
Okay, that's okay. I got brother Micah just came up.
Hello.
Just Chronicles. I'm sorry, First Chronicles.
First Chronicles. Let me go to First Chronicles.
Let me make sure.
What you saying?
First Chronicles 7. It's one of my favorite verses. It can't be there.
Okay.
No, it's not that. It's not that one. It's that one that says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves. That's the one I'm looking for.
Okay. So I'll let you look for that. I'm gonna hit Micah real quick. Brother Micah.
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing, my brother? Shalom.
I'm doing well. Then let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 4:15.
Wisdom of Solomon 4:15. Let's go there. We're gonna look at it. 4:15. And it says, in this the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that the grace and mercy is with his saints, and he had respect unto his chosen. See, I'm gonna tell you something. You gave a seriously, you actually told everywhere you need to pull the stuff from. So the verse is good. You literally just told everything you need to get. So with this, I'm gonna use this verse because you literally just told everything that need to be done. So for nobody can get around it. So we're gonna put Wisdom of Solomon 4:15. He said Wisdom of Solomon 4:15. Then we put that in there because now I'm gonna hold everybody to it. I'm gonna put Wisdom 4:15. 4:15. Now at this point, I'm not gonna let you guys get around it because you literally gave them every piece they need to where now that he had respect unto all Israel. Now everybody been answering it and nailing it in a good way. And what you did, you told and you validated what all of them said so far. Because where do you say? And I'm gonna show you why you kind of put them in a good position, but now I want more from it. Because it's saying right here, he had respect unto his chosen. So I need you, it's saying it right here, so you know it's true. Elder Smith said it, Sister Cole said it. They said it. I got Sister Smith saying no. I got Sister Belinda saying no. I got Sister White saying no. I got Brother Mac. He's saying no because he's saying because he's saying by works only. We got Sister Bernadette saying not, they worked every day due to the bondage. So we got everybody holding to the same thing. So if everybody holding on to the same thing, and then you come and you give this verse and you said exactly what the problem is. Ned is nailing it to the cross, and I'm gonna hold you somewhere else too, Ned. Let's go to Romans chapter 9, and we're gonna find out what happened, and we're gonna see something. And Brother Ned, I want another verse from you. Well, I can't hold you that way. I'm sorry about that. Can't hold you that way. But it's another verse I want from you. It's one more verse I want from you.
And we also throw in Romans 8 verse 9.
Okay, yeah, 1 second. So we're gonna pull up brother Need. So he bring this up. He says, not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. So he nailed it. He nailed what part of it was. He clearly nailed what part of it was. So we have to put that in there so we won't get it. Yeah, so we have Sister White, she also put it in there. 1 second. So we want that in there. But there's one more I want. It's one more to where you can clear this out. And you said you wanted to go to Romans what?
Chapter 8, verse 9.
Chapter 8, verse 9. Let's go to chapter 8, verse. Well, I can go to chapter. I just can scroll up. And it says, but ye are not in the flesh, but in spirit. So if so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, is none of his. See, again, y'all need to give me, it's a verse that you guys are nailing. That is right. So we got to put in 8 and 9. You nailed this. You got doing a beautiful job, I must say. But it's one main verse I'm looking for. It's a main verse to where you can see, because we clearly know now that he had respect unto Israel, but we just found out just because you're Israel or you are of Israel don't make you Israel. We just found out that he just used verse 8 and 9, where I know you nailing it right to the cross, because 8 and 9, it says, but ye are not in the flesh. So he's not talking nothing about flesh. So we know if he's talking about nothing about flesh, because flesh profits you nothing but in the spirit. I'm talking, you guys got, if it was a snake out there, it'll bite probably every one of you guys, because everybody know what we want. But what we have to do, slow down, think about it, and let them, and just let the Most High show you what you want there. Just, I'm gonna tell you, he gonna lead you to it. I got Elder T, he's using the same thing. So again, you guys know what is happening, and we have to use that verse, because he went to a verse that's clearly even backing up all your verses, brother Micah, breaking every one of them up. Why? Because Paul himself is talking on this behalf. He said, now I'm standing and I am judged. He's judged for what? For the hope and promise made unto our fathers. How do we know this? You can go to Genesis chapter 49, verse 1 and 2. This is what Paul quotes right there. And what is it saying? Unto which promise are 12 tribes, what? Instantly serving God, day to come, day and night, hope to come. And that's what he was accused of. So again, y'all clearly know, and it's a verse to where you can actually seal that deal to where you know what's there. Seal the deal. Seal the, because I'm talking about, and see, and I'm gonna tell you the beautiful thing about this. You see how you guys explaining it right now, and you guys literally, when somebody said he had respect unto Israel, now you know it's not all Israel. Why? I cannot get around you on these verses here. It's impossible. So when you know when everybody came out, we can't prove. Now we have 1 second. We have a second Idris 97. Now somebody want to go to my uncle. I'm gonna go to my uncle just because of my uncle. I didn't just lay claim on this man, so I'm going to him just on GP. We're gonna go to second Idris, and we're gonna look at verse chapter 9, and we're going to look at verse 7. And we just going there just because of Uncle Idris. For everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. So this is actually, we cannot use this, even though it's saying some of the same language, because it's saying everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works. So it's just telling you something, but what we want to know, see, we want to pinpoint who they are. We want to pinpoint who they are. So we can use this part of, actually right there, I can use that part of it. So take that back. We can use Wisdom of Solomon. I mean, we can use 2nd Idris 97, but we can use it in another area. So we can use Uncle Idris right here. Uncle Idris can be used right there. And I got one more, we got Brother John Smalls, we done brought it out. So 1 second, let me get ready to pull him up. We got to go to we got to go to 2nd Idris in 97. We can use that with that because I was including through their works. Let me pull up Brother Smalls. Brother Smalls.
Okay, shalom. One can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, my brother. Go ahead.
All right, got John 16, 15 through 20.
Okay, John 16. Okay, let's go to John 16. And I'm gonna tell you, if a snake was by you, it'd be to bit you, my brother. And I'd be sitting there, doing a eulogy on you. 16. You said 16, you want what?
15 through 20.
Yeah, I'd be doing a eulogy on you. It says, all things that my Father hath are mine. Therefore, I said, he that take of mine and shall show it unto you. A little while, and ye shall not see me. And again, a little while ye shall see me, because I go to my Father. See, and you got all this right. But I'm telling you, snake was on you, snake would be to bit you. And then said some of his disciples among themselves, that is this that he has said unto us, a little while, and ye shall not see me. Again, in a little while ye shall see me. And because I go to my Father. They said, therefore, what is this that he said in a little while? Because they caught up on that little while part. And then it says, I can't tell you that what he said. Now, Jesus knew they was desirous to ask him, and said unto him, do ye require among yourselves of that I said a little while, and ye shall not see me again a little while, and ye shall see me. I'm gonna tell you, snake was by you, it'll bite you after death. It'll bite you after death. I got let me bring up I got Elder T. I gotta bring him up. Elder T, you can actually talk, and then I got Deacon D. Frost. He's using Exodus 19:6. And there's one to actually prove the point. And I'm telling you, Brother John, if a snake was by you, it'd be to bit you. You'd be bit.
I was going to, can you hear me, yo?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was going to give it a shot.
Uh-huh.
I was going to try to use Genesis 32 and 28 or Genesis 49 and verse 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good 49:2. You clear date. See, this, I'm telling you right now, y'all putting yourselves in bad position because these are you guys making yourselves clear as day what you're talking about. It's like you outside and he told you to come in at 6 o'clock, and you and Brother John sitting there saying, no, Pop said we can actually come in about 6:20. That's what y'all doing. That's kind of what y'all doing.
Okay, can I go to John 15?
Huh?
14 through.
Wait, yeah. One sec. I'm just you got Genesis. Yeah, I think. Oh no.
Genesis 32 and 28.
Oh, I go to that one too. 1 second, because you got a couple. You guys gonna get nailed. I'm telling you, Brother John gonna get bit. I'm gonna tell you, because I'm just gonna leave it at that.
What did Brother John give you?
He gave me the first one. He gave me actually that goes in here. I thought I put it in here. He gave me John. You gave me John. Which one was it? What was the first one? It was
16.
16. Yeah, 16. And it was 18 through 20. What was it? 16 through 20.
16 through 20.
Yeah. See, and I just want you to remember that one, because he gonna get bit. See, because the main thing is we validating everything. So if we validating everything through work, and then same thing, I asked a simple question. Did he have respect to all of them? Everybody said no. That was a unison thing that everybody had. No. So if he had no respect, and the same thing, when we get down to verse 11, he said he had no respect to person. So if he had no respect, what? Okay, so how do we know what went on? I'm talking about you guys are all. I'm talking about you guys are all. These are correct, every one of them. But how you gonna validate it? We need one thing just to validate it all. And that's all we need. One verse, and you'll be all this is already validated, but what you're gonna do is shut everybody down on the one. Elder Smith, you can talk. You can bring it in.
Yes, Elder. I was going to say Exodus 16:28.
Okay, let's look at Exodus 16:28.
And you can start at 26 and go down to 29.
Okay, 1 second. I'm telling you, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna go maybe one or two more. Exodus 16. You want Exodus 16:28?
You can start at 27 when they're not following the Sabbath.
Okay. Oh no. What we want to do, see, we already established. So on this, you might have to go back and look. We already established that he ain't talking about everybody. We just want it concreted that we know he ain't talking about everybody. Everything right there. But not all that is of Israel is Israel. So why are they right now? We can see where it talks about it, but then you see in the New Testament, when you start getting over with Paul and them talking about everybody, it really start being hardcore. Where they sitting there saying, we ain't talking about everybody. We ain't talking about all Israel. So we just need that to be validated.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
I go to John 15:14 through
Boy, you gonna get. I'm gonna tell you, man. Boy,
all over me. It's
a snake gonna just bite you half to death.
through
I tell you what I'm gonna do.
21.
I'm gonna get you out of it because I don't want you to get bit. I'm talking about it ain't no it ain't no rattlesnake. You got a dang what they call that poisonous snake down in Africa. You got a dang mamba, a 25-foot mamba getting ready to bite you. And I'm gonna show you the verse. This is why I keep saying that to you. This is why I keep saying that directly to you. Can you pray? Can you start at verse 9?
I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are mine.
Go ahead.
And all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I'm glorified in them.
Now watch this. Now you got that right. Watch this. Because you was already right there. And just never, all you do is never separate the book. Read verse 18.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words into his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
And read verse 19.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
So whoever ain't gonna do it, he already know it ain't his. He's telling you
that isolation again.
Huh?
That isolation again.
You just did a quick isolation, but all he was saying all the time. That's why I said all these verses was right, but all you want to do is nail it down to where they can't get around it. So if we know Yahushua, we know he's coming and he's going to lay the foundation. Meaning what? John 14:15. He's laying that down. So if he's laying it down, he's telling the Most High already know all these are not yours. I'm only praying for them. Who? Everybody got all those verses up there right now. This is what I'm praying for. Now, how are we gonna validate him? Moses validated him because he said, "Hey, this is the one who's gonna come." Never break scripture. When you never break it, you nail it to the cross. And I have Micah up again. Yeah, go ahead, Micah. You can actually talk.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to add one more in, at least from my part. Tobit 14:9.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Yeah, because I want people to actually see that one. 1 second. 17:9 and
It was 14:9.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, because what you want to do, you always want to validate that speaker. When you validate the speaker, you validate everything. And you want to go to Tobit 14:9. And a lot of people don't go to Tobit. Why? I really don't know why, but
That's an interesting book. I like Tobit.
yeah. Yeah, Tobit's unique. 14:9. It says, but keep thou the law and the commandments, and show thyself merciful and just, that it may go well with thee. That was really interesting you put that in there. But I knew pretty much what it was saying. And that's the main thing. So, because that's all he's saying all the time. You got to hold on. And in this here, I'm gonna show you something. Let me put this here, and then we're gonna see something. And I'm gonna show you the weirdest thing. Well, we don't have to put that in there. I'm gonna show you where people will see what's going on when this happens. Okay, so he's saying, But keep thou the commandments and show thyself merciful and just. So every time when you come to these things like this, always keep everything running. Always keep your motors running, because you know they talking from something on what they already know. Meaning what? But if thou keep thy commandment, and he said that it may go well with thee. What's going to go well? Show you exactly what's going to happen. All you do is go right here. And what? Blessed the day that keep his commandments. That they the ones have a right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates of the city. It's automatic. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing running around. Because that's how it makes you start thinking and how you run everything. You never change from what is going on. You always keep that. Meaning what? As you keep this would end up happening. Let me see, did I go to the right one? Yeah. And hereby do we know that we know him, if we what? Keep his commandments. It's clear as day. He that said he keep it, he know him and keep it not his commandments is a liar. The truth is not in him. So it tells you everything. So everything you already know, because the keys that you need is showing you everything you need to know anywhere in the book. That's how you pull all your stuff. When you start sitting there saying, okay, we're gonna go here to pull this, but the main focal of the point is what? Is what he's saying. You working good. So if we working good, did you find anything in here that was negative? No. Everything in here is talking pretty good. He had respect unto them. He's sitting there telling you, if you do these things, instantly start serving God. But just because you're Israel, don't just necessarily make you Israel. This is all in here. This is how, and we'll tell you what, because if you're not Israel, you don't have the faith anyway. That's telling you right off the bat. So this is how you know what's going on. This is why you can feel this, and actually this would get really loaded it down with a ton of precepts. So what happened with people when they want to mark this, because I know some people like to put these put the notes in their Bible. All these notes, as people see at the below their thing, all these notes will fit exactly with what you're doing, because those are precepts for it. And that's why I want people to always, jot this stuff down. And it has a lot more to go with it and to understand what's going on. Because if you do it another way that is unrighteous, you can actually get these reinstatements where you can also start having problems. And that's where we start coming into things. So we're going to hold there, and we're going to go down to the next one, because if not, I won't get to verse 11. I need to break verse 11 down. We need to break that one down, because we got something that we got to do. So in verse 11, it says, for there is no respect of persons with God. Meaning what? He's talking about by the works. So if you do good, it's respect. If you don't do good, he ain't got to respect that, because he don't have to sit there and bow down to you just because you choose to go another way. You can't make him accept that. He's not going to accept it, because he don't deal with it that. He don't run that way at all. So this is the problem that most of us have. Meaning what? He goes right back up here. There's no respect to person. So let's look at verse 7. Let's pull this back up. Where he has no respect. He has no respect to persons. So, and what this should be showing you guys, never leave the book. And if you know, we don't have to go to no commentary to get an understanding. We don't have to go to a concordance to get some understanding. We don't have to go, we ain't went nowhere to get anything. Everything we getting is in that book. One body, one book, and we can get everything we need to get. We just have to we have to do our due diligence and put in the work. We use the other tools to where, okay, we had them other tools, we get some problems, we break that word down. We break it down to where we're going, okay, we're going to tell you what, we're having a problem. Okay, we need to figure this out. We need to figure this out. We need to figure this out. Okay, guess what? Boom, we're going to tear this word. Let's tear it down and understand it. Because now we got to tear it down piece by piece. This is what we need to be doing. Don't sit there, oh, let me go run and see what this man said. Let me go run and see what that man said. No, that is the biggest waste of time you can ever run into. And this is what angers a lot of people, because then what it does, they basing their thoughts on what some man said, and it was all a lie the entire time. Because why? He's sitting there, they believe in this three-headed God and all this other silliness. So let's look at this same thing. We're going to go down to verse 11. It says, there's no respect of person with God. So how do we actually break that down? We have to actually look at this, and he's actually repeating the same thing in verse 7. The same thing. Why? And it says, to them who by patience, continence, and in doing well, in well-doing, seek for the glory and honor. In immortality, eternal life is not actually part of what that respect the person is. Because respect the person just means then all of a sudden you just got that. No, you have to endure that to the end. So the glory and honor and immortality is what you're actually seeking, that you're already going to be seeking for and actually achieving. So that's part of that. So now you're going to look at that, and now you have another part that goes with that. Because now we got to still go back down to what? To verse 10. And who is this who? What is he talking about here? Honor, glory, immortality. Verse 10, what? Which one is he talking about? To the Jew first, and also the Gentile. It has nothing to do with the rest of this. That's what he's talking about. This is what he's talking about. He's making sure he's clear all the time. But people will sit there and say, oh, no, this is talking about everybody. No, he's telling you plain as day, who seek glory, honor, and immortality, eternal life. But unto them are, contention. We ain't got to leave that part, but this is what we seek. And then you go right down here, and it tells you who they are. To the Jew first, and also the Gentile. It's telling you clear right there what is happening. And then as he goes on, he tells you more to where this is where it's going to get really, really hairy on why I said we got to work through it. It says, for as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law, and as many have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. So we need to figure out how this actually works out. So my thing is to where we need to understand what is happening, because now he's saying something about the law and it's going back and forth. Here's another reason. When you see there talking about that, and he's saying, many have sinned without the law shall perish without the law. Why? There's no respect of persons. That's what he's not. If you're not doing the law, your looks is not going to get you in heaven. If you're doing this without the law, and you think I've been pumping weights and I look good and this, that's not going to get you in heaven. I don't care what you've done. Respect the person is not going to happen. That is not happening at all. So these are the problems that most of us have. This is why most of us will always sit there and always, thinking, oh, I'm going to get in on this, I'm going to get in on that. One, flesh and blood profits you nothing, absolutely nothing. Why? Because you go to John 4:22, it tells you, plain as that, you have to worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. So when you're sitting there thinking you're doing something with the flesh, it's a waste of your time. This is what's going on. So how can we sit there and he's saying he has no respect of persons, but we write down here, for as many have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law, and as many have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. That's meaning what? So if you sin without the law, and he's saying you're going to perish without the law. So my question will still be, are they still going to die and they're not going to come to heaven and they never had the law? Yeah, that's what he's saying. If you're still out there sinning and you didn't care to even know anything about the law, why is he going to sit there and let you come into his house and you don't know the law? Now you're going to go into heaven, and now he has to teach you what needs to be done and how everything functions in heaven, and you don't know the law. It don't make any sense. So what he does, he have you out here, you're in the wilderness to where you can learn how to go outside and use the restroom and then come back in the house and act like you got some sense. But since most of us not even seeking that, what are we doing? Whoever dies with the most toys win. Those are the ones who, guess what? They're going to die with the most toys win. The flesh going to die, the spirit going to die. Both of them going to die together. That's a zero-sum game. So he's saying, I'm not respecting of whoever it's going to be. There is no respect of person with God. What? For as many as have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law. So even if they don't know the law for whatever reason, they're going to perish. Zero-sum game. Why? Ain't no respect of persons. No respect of persons. So as many have sinned in the law, so then he goes on the ones who knew God and knew what the laws was and they didn't do it. You're going to be judged by the law because now you're going to crack open those books. And your name, if your name found in those books, you got a problem. I want to make sure everybody understand what he's saying here because we're going to break down something else. So I just want to make sure YouTube side understand what's happening. I want to make sure everybody in the back understand what he was actually saying. We got Brother Gordon. 1 second, let me bring Brother Gordon. Go ahead.
I just said I understand what you were saying.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem, my brother, no problem. That's all I want to make sure. I just want to make sure everybody understand where we're coming from. Good. We got everybody on our side to get where we're coming from. So what we have to do now, we have to go into some things. So same thing, sin without the law. So we want to, so it's saying sin without the law. Let me go there. We're going to look at it plain as day, sinning without the law. Because it's telling you clearly right here. It says, for as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law. He's making this so clear, it's unreal. And then as many have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. So he's giving you this two paradigm, but he's saying the same thing. If you knew the law and you sin and you work contrary against this law, you're gonna die. If you didn't know the law and you care not to seek God and you just lived your own life in same thing, you're doing it against God, you still gonna die. That's what Paul's saying. That's what he's saying. So we want to see how this works, and then we're going to do some breakdowns. So this is why it's so important where people, they want to sit there and read, oh yeah, Paul, this and that. No, Paul he's a complex individual. He's a complex individual because, as I still say, I still hold to it. Somebody else might can say differently. And it's one of the biggest arguments around Hebraeus. It's one of the biggest arguments. And I truly believe Paul is a stumbling block. I truly believe it. Somebody can show me differently, but I think Paul is so complex, even though Paul lets you know up front, ahead of time, in Romans 7:1, he said, I speak to them who knows the law. I know he makes that statement the first time after 7 chapters. But the thing I still hold to, he give you so many flip sides of the fathers and of the law. I think with that, even though it's not Paul's fault, because he's trying to show you the flip sides of everything, I think that's a stumbling block for people because people take on one part of it and they just do away with it. That's what I think. But let's look at this. And it's in 1 Chronicles chapter 2, and it says, and Solomon sent to Hiram, the king of Tyre, saying, as thou dealest with David, my father, and doeth send him cedars and build him a house to dwell therein, even so deal with me. Why is that there? This is a whole thing that's going crazy, because we're talking about a house. We're talking about your body. This is what we're going to go into. So we're going to look at something even a little bit deeper. So we know what the body that is talking about all the time. David is his father, but we got to get a couple of things that's understood. So now we drop even down to 2 Chronicles 15:3 to understand even more so on this law thing, because the flesh is going to sin. That's regardless. The body, the house. But if you have the Spirit of God in you, it can kill the flesh and won't let the body sin. So these are the catches. So it says, now for a long season, Israel has been without the true God, and without a teaching priest, and without law. So what is it saying? Many of us is being out there and we had no teaching priest. Doing what? Teaching you exactly the contract on what we studying now. We studying the contract on what we need to be honoring. That's what's going on right now. If we need to understand this contract, we got to understand, we sitting there, we're going through this contract, this life contract, on what we need to understand with God, on how it breaks down and what's going on. We need to understand it. He understands it, but we need to understand it. Why? And he's telling you right there, now for a long season, Israel has been without the true God. Why? Because we were sitting there under the laws of a false God, giving us false information, using bits and pieces from this book and feeding you a lie. This is what was happening, but we got to straighten all that out. How? So we can know what's going on. So we're gonna still put those in there but we're gonna break everything down. So let's go over here to 2nd Esdras, and we're gonna get a little bit more information. We're gonna go to 13, and we want to still understand everything that's going on. And we want to go right down here. We're gonna go to 38. It says, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor, or by law, which is like unto fire. And this is, why you think he's using this? Evil thoughts. Evil thoughts. And torments. It's all sin. He shall destroy them without labor by the law. He's making himself clear in this contract. Clear. Perfectly clear by contract. So if we don't know what it says on this line, it's not in fine print, it's in plain print, it's everywhere else. And we have to understand, we have to be doing something and not be hearers only. And many of us has learned that we need to be hearers only and just believe that I'm saved by the blood of Jesus, and that's all you need to know. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do and bust hell wide open. Bust hell wide open. And this is going to happen to many people. We got to get the other part. We got to go down to 4:16. We're gonna get a little bit more. We're gonna get a little bit more. It says, "Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, nights, or 3 days, nights or day. I also in maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go unto the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish. If I perish, I perish. But she made something real clear. Not according to the law. Not according to the law. What is she talking about? She's talking about right here, not according to the law of the king of her time. Not talking about the laws of God. According to the king. So after she do what is required of God, and she go before this king, and she perish, she die, then she said, then I die, period. I'm good. This is what she said. So all we understand all the time how this is always working. So what we need to do, we're going to look at one more scripture. This is the one we're going to tear down. This is the one we're going to tear down, but I want participation with this one that we're going to tear down. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians 9:21. 1 Corinthians 9:21. Why? Because the same thing as you look here, you look right here, it says, for there is no respect of persons with God. So as it's telling you, with that law, we need to understand what that law means. Why? Because verse 12 makes it clear. For as many have sinned without law shall perish without law, and as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. So how can we sit there and figure out what this is saying? So we're going to look at 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 21. And it tells you right there, to them that are without law, as without law, being with not without the law of God, but under the law of Christ, that I might gain them that are without law. Saying the same thing, but it's not confusion. So what we need to do is copy this, and we need to tear this down. We need to copy it and tear it down to where we can completely understand what was happening. That's the only way we can do it. Actually, I can put it over here. And we'll put that. And we're going to put 9:21. And we need to see how this is going to go and how this actually tears down. Because once you tear this down, it says, to them that are without law, as without law. You see this, but this is how Paul talks. And then it says, being not without law to God, but under the law of Christ, under the law to Christ, that I might gain them that are without law. What is he saying? Because it's not making sense. So I'm looking for anyone that's actually in the back to they want to put their hand up to where we could tear this down, to where we can understand what's happening. Anyone that want to tear this down, we can look at this and just tear this bad boy down to where we can give an understanding, not just to us back here, but also to the ones in the front as well. So far we have nothing. We have no one want to go through this. Actually, no, take that back. We have Brother Smalls. And Brother Smalls.
Okay. Let's take a shot.
Okay.
For this first slot, it will be for to them.
To them, that's a good grab. That's a good grab. But since you got that one and we have no other ones. Now this one here, and before we go further, so it's to them without law, because it's telling you something what's going on. So we need to find out what was happening here. Meaning what? We're gonna find out something now. And then this is your key. Oh, this is too much. But it's intended, well, I just say intended persons. Do it that way. That's how that actually works. So now we know that's separated. So to them that are without law. So these are the recipients or the people intended, that is what he's getting ready to go into. And it's to them that's without law. To them. One second. We have wait a minute, 1 second. We have actually I think this your buddy from last week.
It be me.
Yeah, I think we got Sister Smith.
Can you hear me?
Yep, that's Sister Smith.
Okay. I'm just sitting here thinking that you would go to the next one as without law.
Okay.
Because it's a state, let me see.
That's the one you want? That's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so now I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna put these here as you got the reason you have this here, because I'm gonna show you how Paul plays this. And this is why, the English language, this is the only part that actually really kind of angers me. The reason why, because Paul making just these two statements. And it literally, when I was
that's too much. That's too much, honey.
Because I wanted to separate it.
A little bit more.
Years ago, it threw me, and it angered me. The reason why it angered me, because Paul talks in this language, but then I'm talking about we had people that I was in the class with. They was able to separate it because they was living in those countries and they knew what this was saying, and not based on what the class knew. They just knew based on the language itself. And then that's when I understood to where the English language is a slang, and the England speaks the pure language of this language. That's what angered me. Because I'm sitting there saying, like, I'm speaking and nobody even know what I'm talking about. What was going on. So right here, he's using this. He's saying to them that are without law. I'm getting feedback off of somebody. And then it's saying as without law. So what is the best thing that goes here?
Oh, okay. You mean so as without law, I should have used, that's not what I should have used?
No. So as without law is good.
Okay.
But we need to find out what goes right here. Because
basically,
the only way we can understand what he's going to be talking about as we go down, we gotta validate what's all going down through here.
Okay. So as without law would be a oh God, I need to see this.
I'm gonna show you a key. What is that?
Clarification.
No, what is as?
Oh, as a comparison.
Thank you. Yeah, no, she got it. 1 second. That's all this is. So yeah, 1 second. 1 second. So this is a comparison.
Comparison.
So what we're looking at is to them, we already know what it's talking about now, without law. So if they without law, comparing them without law.
Without law.
See, that's the part that angered me.
That's not fair.
Yeah, because Paul talking rhetorical, and I didn't know it. That's what angered me. But it's not that Paul saying it himself. It's saying that I didn't. That's what angered me. I was actually angry at myself. Wait a minute, I heard somebody feeding back.
Yeah, me too.
Is that so? Yeah, I like.
Carla?
Yeah, I had to disable it. I'm getting feedback, so I had to take you off. Feedback.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just lower that.
Just turn it down.
Yeah, turn that one down.
Yeah, me too.
All you gotta do is just lower that. Yeah.
Just turn it down.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
1 second. I'm getting feedback.
Who's that?
Wait a minute. Yeah. Nah, it ain't coming from that one. That's where it was coming from. It's coming from Brother Micah. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Sister Yvette.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was the other two.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so now we got Brother Small still up. Have you up? Elder T's up. Elder Smith is up. So yeah, but if anybody else come up, I'm asking you guys, make sure you guys have your thing down because it's feedback like crazy over here when it does it.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Hurts your ears.
Okay, I'm gonna try you again, Sister Carla, but if I get feedback, I might have to take you back down. Okay, yeah, Sister, yeah, I can't have you. Yeah, I can't have you. Yeah. I'm getting too much feedback on you, Sister Carla. Way too much feedback, and I can't do that. So that, unless you have turned it down, other than that, I'm getting feedback on my end.
If you turn yours on your earpiece, it's gonna get feedback.
Yeah. So now we having this right here where the comparison is without law. So now, what else do we need here?
What do you mean? What else? Like
Right. Under select one.
To them.
Yeah, under select under right here.
Okay.
Oh, that would be being not without law.
Oh, I see.
Being not without law unto God.
Unto God.
Okay. And
so you don't need to use, but okay, I see.
So now, what is this in? Now, Sister Carla, yeah, I can't, because it keep I'm gonna try it one more time. After this, I'm not gonna do it anymore. If I still get that feedback, then I'm not doing it anymore. Okay, Sister Johnson. Okay, you have okay, yeah, see, I'm still getting, it's the same thing. So don't even put your hand up any, just because I keep getting, as soon as I undo it, I get feedback automatically. So you keeping that stuff on. Okay, so let's just move forward with that one. So now, what is this here? So being without law to God.
So is he explaining now? He's
let's look at it real close.
Being not without law.
Clarification.
Yeah, without law to God.
He's clarifying it, yeah, but
he's clarifying something, but he's clarifying something specific.
Yeah, law.
Yeah, exactly.
Without law, sure.
Exactly the point.
Yay!
Exactly the point.
Make me think.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what that is.
Okay. So being without law.
You hit the main two parts.
Yeah. So it's
yeah, you get ready to see what it is, but you hit the main part. You hit exactly what it was.
Rejection. Yep, that's it. Rejection.
Yeah. You hit the main what it is.
Mm-hmm.
but under the law to Christ.
See.
Yep. See, now I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, being under the law to God.
Okay. So now, right here, it goes clearly to what it is.
Being honest, it's telling you now.
Yeah.
But under the law, he's explaining his suggestion.
Yeah, exactly what
suggestion.
Huh?
I'm sorry, nothing. I was thinking suggestion, but then I saw you pop it in there before I even thought it out loud. So that's good.
That's all he
keep going. Keep going.
But under the law to Christ. He just said, hey.
It's just a suggestion.
Yeah. That's all he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now the main thing is, besides y'all even trying to tear that down, all that
them that are without law. Now he's telling us why. And the reason why he's doing all of these other things is the main object. Oh, the main point. He's got the main point there.
That's all he's saying.
Yep.
Now let's look at this again. So now we know. So now when we look at the other one, where he's talking about in Romans, now we see it over here. So we know the intended persons who. Let's look at it together.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at it. I should
intended persons. I need to pull them out that without law.
Yeah. Let me pull the verse up.
Okay.
You can do it. Romans chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna go to verse 12. And we're gonna look at it to where we can have it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know, for as many have sinned without law, so we already know to them that are without law. You see how you sound the same thing? So these are the intended persons.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning what? When you go over here, y'all got them picked out so hardcore, it's unreal. Y'all know who they are. People, I'm Israel. I'm Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all gonna say, well, just because you're Israel don't make you Israel.
Yep.
You're gonna throw that right on them. Why? Can I tell you how I know why? Because when I told you about God, was you instantly serving God day and night? No. Okay. So guess what? You ain't Israel. You're gonna nail them all. You're gonna nail them on it all day long. So now we know that's them. So now we're gonna compare them to what?
Them without the law.
Without the law. Okay. So now let's think about this. Think that you slow down. You say, let me think about this. So comparison as without law. Now, who live without law?
Gentiles.
Okay.
And
what else we need?
All of Israel.
What do we need to think about? You answering your own question. So then that's where you put in too many verses down here. But only here you should be putting only 2 at a piece. But that's why I'm not putting them there. So without law. So now if you is having the same type of lifestyle as Gentiles without law, what God do?
Disown you, judge you like them.
Oh, he rejects you.
Yep.
Really?
No.
Actually,
he judges you like them.
Yes, but watch this. He rejects you, right? Watch this.
Yeah.
And I know we put it. Did we have it up here? No, I had that. No.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought I had it in here. I didn't have it in here, but we need to put it in here. I thought I did.
Which scriptures?
1 Corinthians 3:16. I thought I had that in there. I don't know where. I know we went to it. I thought I put it in there.
You might not. We did go to it, but I don't see it.
Yeah. 1 second. I thought it was in there, but we're gonna go there and look at it.
Okay, and that's gonna go
16 and 17. So we're going 3:16, 17. But watch what happens. Well, let's go back and look at it.
Okay.
Okay, so it's saying, so the rejection, being without the law to God, even then, them without law. So we want to see them without law. So without law, you're gonna get rejection just like them. We ain't doing the law. So let's look at this real close. So same thing when you go over here to Corinthians 3:16. What it says, know ye not that you are the temple of God, for the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. We know that. So if he's dwelling in you, are you going to be doing the laws of God?
Yes. If he's dwelling in you, you are.
Okay. But then you'll get rejected if you're not.
Yes.
So what do verse 17 say?
If any man defiles the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.
What part we miss?
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's clearly self-explanatory. So he's going to reject you automatically. But watch this. Now a suggestion. But under the law to Christ. Got a clarification? Let's go to it. Under the law of Christ. He explains himself. I'm talking about we don't have to sit there and think anything, but all these going to run you to other verses.
I see.
And there's a point where you can see if somebody who can't read will have a lot of confusion.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. We'll run to your verse, but 1 second. I'm just going to show you how people, because not just mine, but I want to show you how people, as you see it, how other people go, it's just going to run you to verses like crazy. But we're going to go to 14, 15. But he's saying, but he want to bring us unto Christ, right? What do that say in 14, 15?
If ye love me, keep my commandments. Oh, if ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it.
Yeah.
If ye love me, keep my commandments.
What part are we missing? Now we have Brother Small said Ephesians what, brother?
No, I was saying that individuals reading that verse that we broke down, they will be confused, thinking that he's talking about two different individuals.
Yeah, most times, but I'm talking about it's all day in sin, actually, and to show you even more so, where he even got you even more clear. Paul explains this. See, because I'm gonna show you where he gets you, and that's why I just put Romans chapter 7 there, because we're gonna end up coming to it. He said, but under the law of Christ, you don't even know how bad he set you up here. But we get ready to see how bad Paul, I would hate to play this man in say like a game of chess.
Oh yeah, we would get beat before we sat down.
Yeah, you'll be beat before you ever even said that. He already did all the move. You move first because I got to go drink coffee with.
He know every move he's gonna make from then on.
Yeah, and be done. Because I'm
gonna know what you.
So because you're under the law of Christ, why did Paul say this? I'm gonna show you why Paul said this. We're gonna go right here. That's why I push this already ahead to what stuff we already know. So the point is already here, but I want to read to you to where we know why he's saying all this. All right. So we're gonna start up here.
Yes.
All right. So he says, know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man. So man, M-A-N, man or woman, as long as he liveth. For a woman have a husband bound by the law of her husband. Now this is something that I normally don't even tell you outside of anything. This woman is not talking about a physical woman.
Physical woman.
At all. Why? Because he's going to validate what I'm talking about in 1 second. But most people think he's talking about a physical woman, but he's actually not talking about that. He said, because why? He's talking about the law. Keep that in mind. This is the mind of Paul. I do it the fleshly way to help bring people to the knowledge of Christ. So I teach it mainly carnally many times, to bring you to Christ, and then I can teach it to you spiritually. You follow me? That's why I do it in that form. But watch what happens. It says how a woman which has a husband is bound by the law of her husband as long as he liveth. Now, mind you, who, when you go into Jeremiah 3:14, who he say he's married to?
Yeah, Yahweh Shai.
So if he say, I'm married unto Israel, you nailed to the cross. But watch what goes on. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. But remember, this is always talking about Christ. This is always talking about spiritually.
He's so cute. You just
Because the only way you can worship him is how?
It's spirit and truth.
So keep that in mind. You can't get around this. This is why I'm saying, when you sit there and you take hold to this Bible and you want to believe in the laws of the Bible, and now you decide you want to go your own way, you condemning yourself automatically to hell, and you're going to be held in the chains of darkness until the dark day of judgment. Why? Because you was offered the truth and you knew what the truth is, and you refused it.
That's a lot of.
Yeah, that's kind of serious. But that's why he says you won't get forgiveness here in this world, and you won't get forgiveness in the world to come. That's why he says that. Because why? You clearly know what the truth is. And not one time yet have we ran out of anything to where you need to get any understanding. All understanding you need to get, you always got it from him. Correct or not correct?
Correct.
So any one of us sit there and turn, we're screwed. And it's not screwed in a bad way. We decided just to go a different direction. We want to go to our own understanding. That's our problem. But watch what happens. So she's bound by the law of her husband as long as he liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. Now I'm gonna ask you, can the spirit die?
No.
Okay, yeah, I just answered it. Let's move forward. So then if her husband liveth, you just said the spirit don't die, didn't you?
It don't.
So he's alive.
It's alive. He's alive.
Okay, so we got a problem. Why? And be married to another man. So now we sitting there, we worshiping Buddha. We worshiping Kabbalah. We worshiping this Jesus Christ that you pay tithes and all this stuff to. You have a physical problem and a spiritual problem. Why? Because the flesh is guaranteed to die, but now you strangling your spirit, and that is going to die.
To die.
So now watch this. She should be called a what? An adulteress. What? So when he cracked that book up, you see, I can run the verses all day long, but I'm just not running to him. He gonna crack that book open. Hey, can you bring me the book of adultery? Guess who's gonna be found in the book? Us. Why? You gonna sit there? Well, I only cheated on my wife one time and I only did this. Okay, guy, guess what? I can care less. You cheated on me.
Me, yep.
5 times.
That was a lifetime, yeah.
You see, okay, now watch this. But if her husband be dead, but we already know a spirit can't die.
Can't die.
So we got a problem. She free from the law, so she is no adulteress. But you married to Christ. That's why he cracks me up when he does that. It really that's why
I'm sorry, because it's just bringing to say it says covenant he will not break. So you can't get out of it.
You can't get out of it, exactly.
But he cracks me because he does that sometimes, and
especially when it clicks, huh? It just makes him laugh automatically.
It just makes me laugh. It says, though she be married to another man. So you can still be tied to another man, but y'all just going to hell together. So watch this. Wherefore, this is the problem, my brother. Ye also become dead to the law by the body of Christ. So guess what? Let's go right back over there and you look right back at this over here. So now you dead by the body of Christ. So now you under the law of who? It's telling you right there.
To Christ.
Under the law to Christ.
You caught up.
Yeah.
All the witnesses gonna sit there and say, Sister Smith, we love you.
But you caught up.
But you got caught up.
Yeah, that's why I was looking at this verse all together, the one that's on preceptor.
Oh, that's exactly how you do
it. Was tripping you up. You said, but not without the law together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put that together till now.
Yeah, it's go ahead.
Yeah, and that's where that's in Christianity, they have their separation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna get caught up all day long. So now we're gonna watch what happens. And be married to another man. Wherefore, my brother, ye also become dead to the law by the body of Christ. Why? That ye should be married to another, even to him who is raised from the dead, that we may bring forth unto God. Meaning what? You caught up and you can't get around it. And why? That I might gain them that are without the law. He got you.
He got you. Because you're without the law now.
You without the law, but did you know the law?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So guess what? So them without the law, you're gonna be judged. Yeah, let's go back over here and look at it. So you without the law, you running around, you act like you don't know the law. Tribulation upon the souls of men, do evil Jews to the Jew first. He gonna catch you. This is all we're talking about. You can't get around it. Why? He ain't gonna respect you. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what.
Yeah, I respect the person.
Sister Yvette and Elder Smith, you know, they are so nice. They do all these nice things. And Lord, can you just let them go on this one?
It ain't gonna happen.
No.
Not a respecter of person.
Yeah, he's not respecting it. It's a done deal. It's a wrap.
Mm-hmm. Not when it comes to his laws.
When it comes to his laws, he's blunt.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the issue. I have Sister Cole. This is the last one I'm gonna take, and we're gonna get ready to.
Hey, Elder, I just had a quick thought. I was listening to a close family member, and we were talking about this same subject because trying to figure out, you know, when you come into like Hebrews 10:26, when you come into knowledge of the truth, right? Then you do that willful sin, and then this person was trying to kind of convince me that, you know, we need to give everybody a chance because, you know, we're still learning. And so I was like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. But then again, if I look at it through scripture, it really doesn't really make sense, because at some point, you know, you got to start out like, you know, like a babe on milk.
Yeah.
At some point, you gotta come off that milk, and then you got to start to kind of understand and digest some bread, some meat.
Yeah, you want to tell you what? I like the way you said that, because it's such a true statement. When you come to the knowledge of God, and you're so true on that, you have to come off milk. It's a point you have to, because if not, the mother is not always going to be there to feed you. Meaning that spirit. That means what? Man or woman is not going to be there all the time to feed you. And if you only on milk and there's no one there to feed you, you're gonna have a problem later.
What you gonna do? And that's the thing I was trying to get across to this relative, and I think he understands. He says he drops in to your classes from time to time, and you know, and I know now that you know, anyway. I just wanted to make sure that I was, you know, guiding him, you know, correctly, to kind of continue listening to what you're saying, and, you know, and to understand that we are all on different levels, you know, but at some point we got to let go. Like you said, Elder, we got to let go of that milk, and we got to, as painful as it is, we got to start taking responsibility for our part in our predicament. And I just don't know how to really articulate that, because I know how I handle myself. And I'm not gonna walk to anybody else's beat unless the Most High says, hey, you know what, you better look over here. And if I look, and if I can't find it in scripture, if I can't go to one of my elders, then you know what, it just may not be true, and I might need to pass that one by.
Yeah, and that's just what you do. Yeah, always, if it's something somebody don't know and you sitting there and you have a problem with it, what you do, you stand still. You stand still on, and you don't get the answer, yeah, you might have to pass that one by. That's why it says, you know, Satan has many ships that's gonna come by. He got them in them churches, and he's always looking to pull someone into his house to where you can come in. The Most High got one gonna come through. And so you have to sometimes stay out there in that wilderness on that buoy by yourself until that one ship come. Because you get on the one where they tell you, hey, it's warm and fuzzy in here, and you go in there, and next thing you know, you caught up on something that completely false, and you might sit there and you might get complacent and say, well, it's all right, you know, I like the music, you know, the bathrooms are nice, because I only saying that because women always, when they go in most places, the first thing they judge almost everything on is the bathroom. And I know they go in certain churches, man, the bathroom is really nice and this and that. And, you know, the music's nice. The inside of the building is nice. The parking is real good. The men walk you out to your car at night when we do Bible study. All this stuff happens. And when you're going in there, you're really not getting anything. When you come out, if someone was standing out there and tell you what is required of you to do for you to be saved, the same one that went to your house and asking, Master, what must I do to have eternal life? And most people will sit there, and most people will tell you is to tell you, won't tell you, you must believe that Christ lived, died, and was raised again by God. That's what they're going to tell you, and they're telling you a bold-faced lie, which is going to get you killed.
And that's why I say all the time, you know, to people that will listen to me, you know, I haven't been following you for that long, and but I have been there from the beginning, and I can honestly say that you have given a lot. And you don't call me, I don't call you. If I email you, you'll answer me back. But I'm telling people right now, Elder Johnson gives a lot.
I appreciate it.
And if you listen, he will be guiding you. He don't got the answers. Why? Because he'll tell you clearly himself, he's a man.
Yeah.
It says in scripture, don't follow no man. Don't put him on no pedestal. Yeah. Don't make no graven images. Because we love to make what? Yeah. Okay. We love to make what? And there's that scripture, I think it's Genesis 6:4, come let us. And I kept saying, but wait a minute. If God is the only God, who the heck is he talking about, come let us?
Yeah.
Okay. The us he's talking about is us. We need to stop this foolishness of trying to make men live up to an impossible standard.
Yeah.
It will make it. Separately, we're not. Together, get on one accord.
Oh, yeah.
It will. And that's all I got to say. Thank you, Elder. Thank you.
Okay. Elder, so if you summed all that up with what we just did in one big statement, basically, how would you do it?
Yeah.
I think I got the whole understanding. I have to understand the whole, and maybe I'm gonna go back and look at it, but if you had to just sum it up, because just a little while ago you did sum up the beginning. I'm just trying to make sure I have all of it. I think I do, but you know.
Yeah, because if not, I know a lot of people have it and see, and I didn't get the time to put all that in the verse 12, which I'm gonna put it in 12, and then we'll do that. And what I'm gonna probably do on the next one is just fill it in.
Yeah.
And I do know, you know, I'm talking. I still got. I'm just apologizing.
I did write down those scriptures. So.
Yeah, I just apologize to people, you know, because it's purely my fault on this this written communication deal, because the application is done, but I promised the book to where I said I was going to give it, and just this past week we had a lot of, you know, stuff going on, and I just didn't get time, and I would have been done with it, but I promise everybody I will be done with the book, and you guys will have that to where, because I'm gonna tell you one thing that really made me feel good, that some of you guys actually understand exactly how to tear this down and see in there, and basically don't never feel bad about yourself when you do this. See, because I'm gonna tell you, when I first, and see, I'll tell you, those years back when I was going under Dr. Shayo, when I went under him. Now, a lot of people that was in the class before we got there, they didn't have to do this. So, you know, I don't mind saying it, you know, a lot of them didn't have to do this, but I had to. Why? Because in Hebrew, it tells you, but then in English, I didn't know. So I had to figure out how to do it. So then when they were showing me how to do it, and then when I seen it in the Hebrew, and then I seen to where I could separate it, and then I was transferring it into English to where it helped me out a great deal. So at first, I felt highly embarrassed about doing it, because I was one of the ones, and it was only like about 6 of us. And actually only 7 of us finished with Dr. Shaul. But the main thing is, it was about 6 of us, we had to do this. And it made me feel almost like the guy with the little dance thing, but it actually made me a lot stronger than what I thought. I didn't know it. But because once you break it down, once you start being able to break this down as you go through, you can break down the language every time in any verse, anywhere in the Bible, and you'll always know what it says. So it's going to always give you automatically foundational precepts. Now, the dangerous thing is this, and this is what some people already figured out, because they didn't already told me. The reason why I say this moves, then you move this over to the preceptor. Why? Because now you're going to take pieces of the same verse. You might sit there and take this verse and say, well, I'll tell you what, the intended people who without law, you might run a just endless verse. You're going to have to cut it. You're going to have to come to a point to where you got to cut your precepts. So you're going to have to pick out the precepts that you just want to use, period. You ain't going to be able to just say, I'm going to use me a bunch of precepts, because you're going to get too many from there. It's nowhere around it. Then you're going to say, without law, you might pair them two up again. Saying, you know, now you got the people without law. When you want to get them without law, you might do a comparison, not just comparison with Israel. You might do a comparison with Gentiles and everybody else, which will run you all through the Apocrypha and everywhere else. What's going to happen again? You're going to come up with too many precepts to where you cannot hold them all. So it comes to a point to where you have to take the most valid ones to where you can hit your point the most direct and say, I got to use these. These are the ones that I'm really trying to get to the people in these here. And I just explain this and run this and I'm good. Because if not, you're going to run too many, I'm telling literally too many precepts you're going to get. Then you might sit there and you say, well, I'll tell you what, a rejection. Then without the law. Do you know how many precepts you can run just on this piece right here, and you using this entire verse? And you're gonna hone in on this, on the preceptor. It just pulls too many. So this is why I'm saying you pull this, but then you put that over the preceptor. But I'm saying, like, you put it over as a whole, but some people are already saying, can I put it over there in pieces? Yes, you can. You can put it in pieces, but when you put it in pieces, you're going to be pulling way too many precepts. So you're going to have to figure out how to, and not incorrect, you'll be pulling correct, but you're going to have to figure out which precepts you're going to use for your teaching. So then you have to be almost laser focused saying, well, I'll tell you what, I want to do a 15-minute teaching to these people. in just 15 minutes. So then you're gonna need to figure out, okay, I'm only gonna use this many precepts. Then that's what you do. Because if not, when you use this, you're gonna pull way too many.
So basically, we just getting the ones like you did with Small when he was walking all over, the one you really wanted that would have explained all of those. That was John 15:9.
Perfect example.
And just get a couple of those before and then hit them with that one, the big one.
Yeah, gotcha. Exactly the point. So that's why I told him, I kept telling Brother Small, and I'm talking, you see what I did? He was right there.
He was all over it.
Yeah, and he's all over it. It's like he's looking for the rabbit, and the rabbit's right there. He's doing other verses that goes with everything. So he's not wrong, but the one that we want, he's getting the cottontails, he getting the other cottontails, he ran into a badger, he ran into well, what else goes in the ground? He ran into a fox. The rabbit is in that hole right there, sitting there like, dang, he keep looking over me though. I'm good. You can get all those, because he had everything. So it was cool. So that's why that language is so important. In this language here, it just tears it down to where now, even though we speak a flavor of England, we at least know what it's saying. So now we know how to pull everything we need to pull. Because then it's just automatic. And then when you go over there and you put this in the preceptor, you might put it all as a whole in the preceptor. That's a good way to do it. But then you might use a couple of those areas to where you're going to focus in on, because you might focus in on people over there without the laws of God. That's what your focus might be. So now you can say to them without the law. So now that's out of all the precepts, you might focus on them without the law, or you might want to do a comparison with people without the law. So you see, it's too many different areas you can go into. So you might say a comparison with people without the law. Who? Now you're going to start running into what? You're going to start running into Gentiles. You're going to start running into people over in Egypt. You're going to run into all kinds of stuff right there, which you'll be pulling precepts directly to what he's actually talking about. And not only that, this is comparison to them doing without the law, but you make sure that the comparison is what we're doing as Israel, and we shouldn't have been doing because we're doing it without the laws of God. That's literally all you're doing. It simplifies everything.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's good. So that's why I say, so you just have to watch, because that's why you're not seeing me really put too many precepts here, because you can put some here just to, and these some of the ones that if I moved over to the preceptor, I run the foundation on those. And then I just pull maybe 20, 25 precepts, and then I teach from that. Technically what I do. Because if I sit there and do it, you'll be here all day, because then I do each one. Because some people might say, I'm gonna precept this one, I'm gonna precept this piece, I'm gonna precept this piece, I'm gonna precept. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you might come up with 300-400 precepts. That's pretty much guaranteed. However, now you got to see how you're going to tear that down, and you're going to teach people with that. You follow me? So now either somebody's going to be teaching for a whole bunch of hours, or you're going to take it into pieces where you say, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to teach this over a month's time, and now I can take these in pieces. That's the thing. So that's what's going on. And we have, and it says, will the software book and the standard precept to come in a package? Yeah, the standard preceptor did in this here that you see right here is all gonna come with the book. That's $189. Pretty much what they're doing, because they making me adhere to some stuff to do it. So yeah, you can get all that the way it is. So if you get the standard preceptor and then you want this here with the book, you'll get that all together in this $189. That's what you'll do. The preceptor professional, that's a whole nother thing, because you get other things that's in there. Yeah, Elder Smith. Yeah, I can you unmiked. Elder Smith, you unmiked already. All you gotta do is unmic.
Yeah, Elder.
Yes.
The part that I saw you on my computer, but the main point, the part that I can see trip people up is the word might gain, or the words might gain them.
might gain them that are without law.
I can see where that would trip a lot of people up.
Exactly. But you see what I'm saying? You see how you might gain them. Now, guess what? I'm gonna show you something since we got it up. I'm glad you actually even pulled that. Might gain them. Watch this. See, but this I also tell on myself. See, because I'm in the Bible, I ain't gonna even get myself in trouble.
24/7, we know, Elder.
Yeah, my wife. Yeah, because my wife. I'm glad she ain't in here. It takes her to talk about me. Cause she talking about the Bible with my wife. You go sleep with your wife. But yeah, so one time I was in here too long studying, and she told me, "You sleep with your wife. You my wife. You tell that Bible to keep you warm. That dang Bible will keep me warm. Yeah, she was hot. But watch this. But watch this here. This is 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2. Now watch this, verse 10. It says, "And with all deceivableness and all and unrighteousness, them that perish because they receive not the love of the truth, that they what?
Might be saved."
Wait a minute. And he's sending them that for them that they might not be saved, because he ain't trying to save them. Look, read it again. It's telling you. Watch this. It says. We'll go to verse 7. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already the work. Only he who now letteth will let," because he said they're going to let this happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling you right up front, they are going to let this happen because they want it to happen. But watch this: "Until you be taken out the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them," same thing, that might be saved, "them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved."
So it's like the Christians who say that it's impossible to follow all the commandments.
Really?
That's what they say?
That's just what they be saying.
Well, tell me this. It's impossible? Okay, so can you answer me this? We'll go here and okay, we're in Luke chapter 1. It says, "Now the days of Herod the king in Judea, a certain priest named Zechariah, in the course of Abib, and his wife was the daughter of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God." What were they doing?
Following all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord.
What? Blameless.
Blameless.
But you can't fulfill the commandments.
And I've heard several of them say that.
Okay. Now, they like to be New Testament Christians.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, Elder Smith, my brother, I love dearly. Can you explain this to me? That verse 6.
Yes.
It's kind of self-explanatory.
That they followed the commandments and the ordinance of the Lord blamelessly. So they were able to go through. They were able to follow his laws and commandments, and it was not a problem for them.
Again, Elder Smith, that's impossible.
No.
No, it's not, Elder.
There it is. It's
Johnson, and you should know that.
Yeah, you see this is they telling you this, and clearly it's right there.
It's right before their eyes.
But that's that delusion that they have.
And that's one of the things Yvette's brother tried to tell us.
Yeah.
He used those words.
But, that you can't keep them?
Okay, yes, so he said it's impossible.
So somebody need to explain this.
That's what we're doing. I'm gonna send it to you because.
Oh, I wrote a letter to him. I mean, a response.
But we use scriptures instead of our hearts.
Yeah, because somebody need to explain that.
That's what we did. Floyd, Elder Smith did.
Okay. Yeah, because it boils down to where it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Because actually, you can even go here. You can even go here. Go to Deuteronomy. We'll go to the law. Because they already know what the law is.
No, they don't. They think they
6:24 and 25. It says, and the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes in the fear of the Lord our God for our good always, that he might. There go that dang might.
Is that
He
might?
might preserve us alive.
He still has to,
So might mean
he
if
might.
you do it, you preserve.
Yeah.
You don't do it, he ain't respecting no person. He gonna do you. So watch this. Is preserve his life so we can be living as it is this day. Tell you like that right there.
Mhm.
Yes.
Only thing gonna switch is governments. Most people don't know that either, but that's
I
beside.
know.
Now watch this. What verse 25 say?
And it shall be our righteousness.
No. That's somebody else's righteousness.
Nope.
Our righteousness.
If what?
If we observe to do all things, all these commandments before the Lord our God, Yahweh, as he had commanded.
Oh, okay. So tell me this.
That's it.
Going right back here again.
Mhm.
Revelations chapter 22. Then read for me verse 14.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they might have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Okay, hold it right there. Now let's go right back here. Let's go to 1 John chapter 2, verse 3.
And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
Really? Verse 4.
He that saith, I know him and keep not his commandments is a liar,
Really?
and the truth is not in him.
Really? I tell you what. So we ain't done yet. Let's go back to 22. And so he's saying he's a liar, right?
Yes.
Okay. Verse 15.
For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Really? Hold it right there. Let's go back and check something back over here again. We only going in two places, but we just getting clear. And you see, I ain't got to say a word.
Not a word.
I ain't got to say a word. But watch this.
It clarifies itself.
Yeah. So watch this. So they call them liars, whoremongers, everything else, don't they?
Yes.
But watch this. Read verse 7.
Brethren, I wrote no new commandments unto you, but an old commandment which ye had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning.
Oh, really? Ain't done yet. Let's finish it out. Let's go back to Revelations chapter 22. And you read who all brought this up. Verse 16.
16. I, Jesus, have
Wait, no,
sent.
wait a minute. Hold it. Who been talking all this mess?
Yaharsha.
I need to talk to him.
But
read on.
The Most High was speaking it through him.
Yeah.
Putting his words in his mouth.
They need to talk to God. Read on.
Yes. I, Jesus, have sent my angels to testify unto these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star.
Amen.
So, did I have to say anything?
Nothing.
No, the Bible clarifies itself.
Clarified itself.
But the Christians don't see it, Elder.
Well, you have to remember the delusion that they have on them.
Did I go in the Old Testament on them on this? It was all New Testament.
Yeah. Yes.
They're afraid of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Because it tells them too much.
It tells the truth.
Yeah, it tells the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Hold on.
Yeah, what's up, Elder T?
He said,
You made a comment in that verse.
Huh?
You mean to tell me in that verse, David is the offspring of Yahushua? So you telling me, Elder, help me. You telling me that that our God didn't impregnate Mary?
Oh, well, let's check it out.
He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, Elder T.
Sorry to disappoint you, bro.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I don't want Elder T to trip. So what I want
Yes, you better clarify that, elders.
I need to
We got
clarify.
Elder T going here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my hope. Shana Bada Shaitan Baba Shan. Oh my
Elder T.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Hold it, Elder T. Elder T. See, y'all got Elder T. See, y'all got him right.
And I'm sorry.
Okay, so Elder T, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying. If you can read this in Luke, because I don't want no issues with you.
What you want me to read? What
I don't want no issues with you. So all I want to do is start at verse 28 and we're going to read down. We're going to read down to 32. Just read verse 28 and we're going to go down to 32.
And the angel came unto her and said, Hail. Is that where the Catholics get Hail Mary full of grace? Oh, let me stop. Let me stop. I feel it coming up.
It sounds like one of your previous teachings, Elder T.
That's where they get that Hail Mary full of grace.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Thou that are highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. That's in their prayer too, but I'm going to leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 29, and when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying and cast her mind of what manner of salutation this should be.
Go ahead.
And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with the Most High.
Go ahead.
And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahushua.
Now here go the key.
He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest.
Here you go.
And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father?
His father. That's what it says.
His descendant? He's from the descendant of David?
So don't try to put that on me.
Oh, Shanda.
Would you stop? You killing me.
I'll change. I'm about
You
to
got
walk
my
my
jaws
destiny.
hurting, Elder
Brother,
T.
yeah, I forgot. It got one preacher. I done heard him say it almost that way. What they use. I'm trying to think when he said that. I'm trying to think of the one that actually uses.
I'm about to walk in my destiny.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do, brother. That's what they do.
Good job, Elder T.
Yeah,
that was good, Elder T.
If you didn't understand that, then you can't hear.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, Elder. Yeah, you got some people in the back cracking up. They got.
I gotta go on mute because he got my side.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were sitting there. They were talking. They said, Elder, and Elder Pittman, I got you up already. They said, Elder, I love you. They say, but Elder T, they say, boy, sometimes he'll go on one, boy, and they say, boy.
He's like an actor.
Yeah, they say one was saying, and he has some daughters. He say, oh, my daughter. He say, oh no, they don't miss anything he do. Anything he do, they looking at it. They say, no, that's they man. I say, oh yeah. I say, yeah, he'll go in here cut. They, oh yeah, that's what they like about him. Say, hey, he do what he do. Elder Pittman.
Yeah, I just want to say that the other day I was dealing with someone, and another thing they do, I declare and decree that God will do this and do that.
Yeah.
And they find that in scripture. Show it to me in scripture. But they can never say, I don't argue about the word.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you, I get that more than anything. I don't argue the word. What about rebuke and all this other? But they sit there, no, I don't argue the word. But then as soon as you ask them to show you something, I don't argue. No, I'm just asking you to show it to me. So then sometimes you try to humble and just try, can you please just, I'm talking about you got to come. No, I don't argue the word. And the best one was preacher, he told this person, They was trying to find out something in the Bible, and he said, when the Lord is ready for you to see it, they're gonna give it to you. I'm not gonna show it to you because he didn't know where it was. He said, but when the Lord is ready for you to see it, you're gonna see it in Scripture. And they took it as that. And I sit there, I was just shocked. I just left it at that. Okay. So that's the thing. But what the worst thing is, and then now actually, since we're already here, I do want to also address before I do go out. We had some people who thought that we was being, as far as yesterday with the teaching that went forward about the having multiple wives. Again, I believe Elder T made it clear, as well as I made it clear, as well as I believe Elder Pittman. We also have, I know where Elder Jenkins might have made some things to where we're all making this clear. The main thing we're attacking, we are not attacking Mr. Dow at any way, shape, form, or fashion per se. We're attacking his doctrine. The doctrine of having multiple wives is what we was attacking. Nothing more, nothing less. People like that who teach that doctrine and other people who teach that. Why do we do that? I'm going to attack your doctrine because guess what? I have a daughter. Most of them have daughters, have nieces, have friends with nieces and daughters. And guess what? We're going to let them know that it's not cool and that is actually a false doctrine. So we're going to teach about it and we letting people know. At no bid where you see me getting on there calling Mr. Dow, he's a clown, he's a this, he's a, because guess what? Because it don't call for that. Because now I'm attacking him as a person. I never did that to attack him as a person. I might say he did some foolish thing, he's doing foolish and all that. Yes, that's one thing because that's foolish doctrine. However, I never looked to attack that man in that way to where he did anything other than what he's doing is technically not precept in the Bible and actually teaching a lie. Other than that, I had nothing else to do with it. So you guys can stop sending those emails sitting there. Some people say, that our doctrine was superior to his, and our doctrine is in the Bible. That's where our doctrine is. We work off the Bible. But the main thing is we're not here to bully anyone. We're not here to down anyone. We're here to show you the same thing I did with the 3 books. We did that. We're attacking people doctrine. We're not attacking people at all. That is never our way to do anything. Now, when I sit there and we attack your same thing, somebody got in there, your TD Jakes and this and that, the main thing we look for and the main reason, if I'm incorrect, he can unmic at any time, and that's Elder T. And the main thing is what'll happen is he might bring up TD Jakes, which I will bring him up. We'll bring up Creflo Dollar. The main point is we directing you to the person, but then we actually attacking the doctrine they teach. We're not attacking them. We're attacking the doctrine. So that's what I want you guys to understand. At no time we're attacking people. So we're not here to do that. We're here to attack the doctrine. That's it. Nothing more. So if you guys have questions on that, you're more than welcome. I answer them with no problem. However, this is what we do. This is not at any point, any time that we sit there to where you can't see on any of us, to where we sit there and we will attack people. And the same thing, like you see, you can go back and look at Moed, what's his name, Dawid, whatever his name is, same thing. He teaches that there are 3 gods. And he's sitting there saying that, and he made it say, like, I'm teaching a false doctrine. So he sit there, he had that in his mouth. So when I looked for him, I brought him out. He didn't do it. I put his picture up, and I'm letting you know exactly who I'm talking about. That's why I do that. I'm gonna put that there, and he could have came in at any time and defended himself. Meaning what? I will give him the floor to prove his point, not to come there to where I'm gonna sit there and call him names, cuss him. That's going to happen. I'm gonna sit there and say, this is what I have. Now, it can't be contradiction in the Bible. Show me what you have. Because it can't be a contradiction. So either you're right or I'm right, but somebody is right and somebody is lying. The same thing we did with everybody else. That's all we did. Nothing more, nothing less. So people might sit there and be upset. I'm going to apologize for it. No, it's nothing to apologize about because we done nothing wrong. Because we attacked doctrine and we will continue to attack doctrine. So there's no apologies to be given to anyone the same I email to people. I will not apologize for something that we doing according to the word of God. That's a zero-sum game. So other than that, we have any other questions, we'll answer. Other than that, we're going to go out based on that. And then we'll pick this up on Wednesday. We're going through the weekly Israelite. So right now, we don't see any questions in the back. In the front, we're good. I got 2 questions here, but we're pretty good. So with that, I guess we can go out because I don't see any other questions. None. So with that, I say that hopefully you guys got some understanding out of this one. And on the on this breakdown here, actually what I'm gonna do this right now so I won't forget. On this breakdown here, I'm a and I appreciate it, Brother Lynn. On this breakdown here, if anybody wants this breakdown, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to I can screen capture this. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it back in the KJBU, and you can download it from the Romans area. So I'm gonna screen capture it, and then you'll be able to put this up. So that's no problem. So all you have to do is go in there. So so you just go in there and then go under your Romans area, and you'll see this here. And I'm actually doing it as we speak. So if somebody's looking for it, just make sure you do it in the image. And this is for the Romans image. Let me put this right on the desktop so I know right where to put it. And it is saved. So everything is good. So that happened. So now if you guys want to, somebody want that breakdown to see how those breakdowns will actually work to where you can study it, because it's good for you guys to actually study that. Because once you study, it helps you out, because I'm gonna tell you, some people could struggle with it, but as you learn it in repetition, you actually learn how to start breaking down verses. I'm talking about like clockwork. So it'll help you out a lot. On the KJBU side, you go in the back of the class, it's free. So you just go back there, download it, you have it, study it. So with that, I'm going to cut it from there, just making sure everything else is good. And when you'll be coming to the Bahamas, actually, I'm gonna have to hold it a minute. And what are you by the what they call that? What's that hotel? Atlantis. Are you by Atlantis? That's what I need to know. Are you by the Atlantis? That Atlantis hotel? I'm waiting to see this James. Are you by Atlantis Hotel? I'm gonna wait for him because I just want to check. And this is James. Are you by the Atlantis Hotel? Are you close by? Are you within the area of it somewhere? He's not posting back. She's not posting back. The reason why, because we're going to be over by there, because we'll be on a boat, but we're going to be over there. And we'll be over there for one day. We'll be in the Bahamas for one day. Yes, you close by. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my Elder M. Johnson. Send me an email. Send me an email and we can discuss it. And that's my email right there. So do that. So with that, everybody, I wish that each and every person, you'll be able to go back in the class, download that, study it, and then be ready to prepare. But as we break these down, you guys should start seeing exactly how to break these scriptures down to help you out tremendously, to help you start going through the word. But the main thing is as we're going through Paul, you see how Paul actually always pulling from the law. Actually, I know right what you're talking about, Cable Beach. I know right what you're talking about. Okay. So just make sure of that. So with that, I bid to each and every person, have a beautiful rest of your first day of the week. And until this coming Wednesday, till then, I bid to each and every person, hey, shalom.